future of virtual motorsports is now. This September, the heart of sim racing beats in Chicagoland as the Sim Gaming Expo takes over the Schaumburg Convention Center, September 5th through the 7th. Go wheel to wheel in our competition area, test the latest gear, meet top brands, creators, and celebrate with fellow sim racing enthusiasts. Whether you're a seasoned sim racer or new to the sport, this is your chance to be part of history. To purchase tickets and see the full exhibitor lineup, visit simgamingexpo.com.
It's IndyCar race weekend, and you know what that means. When they race first, well, I can't even say that. I have been dealing with so much stuff, and then on top of that, we got rain today. Technical difficulties. But when they race first, when they first race, you know what? I can't say this. We're just at Portland in the rain right now. But welcome to Top Split action in the 2025 IndyCar iRacing Series. Hello again, everybody. I'm Gary Gotzo, a very flustered Gary Gotzo this morning, and welcome to round 14 of the 2025 season of the IndyCar Racing Series. For the very first time, we'll be here at Portland International Raceway for the Saturday Top Split broadcast presented by 4D Racewear. As you see the rain falling on the course right now, having issues trying to get trading paints to work. We're just going to call that an issue brought on by the rain. But this is good news because this is our very first rain race with our very first ever race here at Portland International. As always, joining me in the booth is El Patron, Antonio Estrada, and Ryan Skywalker. Gentlemen, good to be here. Hope you have your rain slickers and umbrellas in hand, but the booth doesn't seem to have any leaks so far. We're only having data leaks right now, no water leaks, but good to have you guys here.
Yeah, no water leaks yet. Have my umbrella ready, but man, a ton of rain falling right now at Portland International Raceway. It's awesome that we get to race here. First of all, it's our first race on iRacing using Portland International Raceway, so that's awesome. And then on top of that, cherry on top, we get the rain, which is going to change completely the race dynamics. So I already saw it with the qualifying, and we'll go through the field in a second. But hey, Ryan, what do you think?
Yeah, great to be at a Portland International Raceway. It's been a great addition to iRacing, and it's one of those tracks that I never get bored of lapping around. And I was doing some offline laps around here during the weekend. It's such a fun track, but in the way I was finding it difficult to try and find my lines, just because basically you're having to go offline to find the grip. But yeah, Portland International Raceway has produced some fantastic finishes as well with Michael and Mario Andretti back in the 80s, and
oh yes,
who can forget that awesome finish between in '97 between Mark Blundell and Joe DeFerrin.
Yeah, and Raul Buesa was also making his way there. Yeah, awesome place here. But what do you say we go through the field?
True. Yeah, let's get our tonight's starting lineup in right here. Go right ahead.
All right, on pole, we have Peter Berryman, the 106.8. He's joined by Jaden Munoz, who is in 106.9. Just quickly, typically guys that are setting pole times here are in the 56, 57 second bracket, but due to the rain, well, 10 seconds. So it's going to be very interesting to see how these drivers navigate through that. And again, changing conditions every single lap. Guillaume Darougna is going to be starting third. Frenchman is joined by Nathan Moore on row 2. He's going to be starting fourth. Daniel Musler is starting 5th, joined by Caleb Rasheer in 6th. Rashad Craig is starting 7th, next to Taylor Mills, who's going to be starting 8th. David Beck starting 9th, with Will Weiser starting 10th. Kevin Buhalasa starting 11th, joined by Dan Piazza, Principal Dan starting 12th. Thomas Van Kirk will be starting 13th, joined by Torre Valen starting 14th. Oswald Richards is going to be starting 15th. Jason Green joins him starting 16th. Then we have Pallet Bay, who's going to be starting 17th, joined by Jack Boyd, who's going to be starting 18th. And then Liam Kerr and Ignacio Sarmiento, they didn't set a time, so they're going to be starting 19th and 20th. We have also Silvu Lazar starting 21st, Walker Green starting 22nd, and bringing the rear of the field is Ethan Agan, who's going to be starting 23rd. And that is your 23 car field for today. Had to run through it because they are already on the backstretch.
Yeah, this is a short track. This is it's not even 2 miles, just barely, almost 2 miles, just shy of 2 miles.
Yeah, and we're gonna do 110 laps. Should be around 3 pit stops, although that's when you are on, a primary or on alternate tire, and you're going like full bore. I'm sure that there's gonna be a lot of throttle. They're gonna be very careful when applying throttle, and that could potentially give us a couple additional laps of fuel mileage. And again, we're probably seeing changing conditions during the race. The rain might go away, and that transition from wet to dry might be something that happens, and that again is going to change the dynamics. But we're getting ready to go here. As the pace car pulls in, and now Peter Berryman decides when he wants to go, which is now. Green flag is out at Portland.
Oh, already contact.
Oh, that bit of calamity going on.
I don't think anyone got... I saw contact, but I don't think there was any damage as a result. A couple cars coming off of pit road decided to go for the pit road safe start. Probably not a bad idea for the first ever broadcasted rain race here for Indy cars.
Yeah, it looked like a little bit of contact between Buhalasa and David Beck, but no harm, no foul. Man, the spray, it's so hard to see. And even though we're not having like a downpour, the spray is still very, very prominent.
And we'll get some in-car cameras to give you what it's like out there. This is Berryman, Munoz, Dorugna, Mosteller, and Craig, your top 5 here as we complete our first ever lap under competition on a broadcast in the rain. Peter Berryman goes down as that trivia question.
Yeah, I'm not sure what Liam Kerr did, but he's up 10 spots. So what a start.
There's Liam. We're still trying to work on trading paints. It is not cooperating, which is hilarious because the races we did this morning for the Sim Gaming Expo, they didn't want us to use trading paints. Now when I want it to work, it won't work.
Daniel Mostler is trying to creep in to the back of Darugna, but having to take different lines. That's what's going to be so interesting throughout this race. I mean, guys, you're going to see them taking different lines, and they're probably going to try and avoid any standing water, but there are some times that you're going to have to bite the bullet and go through there. So car control is going to be paramount. Finding where is the grip is also so important here in these conditions. So I think we're in for a banger here. As Kerr keeps going through his march forward up to 8th already.
Yeah, we got the camera on him. And I think the way to go here is the sun starting to peek out. There you see on the graphic on the screen tells you about the how wet the racetrack is and the precip.
Yeah, so I think that the sun is going to help not have a ton of standing water, but we'll see.
Yeah, and I found in practice during the week, the session I was in, that it started off wet, and then basically, as I was doing a long run just to see what the track was like as it dried, I actually found the track started drying really quickly. So I wouldn't be surprised if the track starts getting drier and drier, or drier really quickly. I wouldn't be surprised if someone towards the back takes a gamble and switches to dry tires.
Yeah, and then you see on the tree, by the way, speaking of the dry tires, we don't have a blue icon to show the the wet tires, but it is a white icon that shows that if they go to the red tires, it will become a red triangle. If they go to the prime tire, which really now, since it's been declared a rain race and started a rain race, the compound change is kind of thrown out the window now. There is no mandatory there is no rule that says now they have to go with the primes or they have to go with the reds. Whatever they want to race this race on, they could continue racing on that for the remainder of this race. So we might see a variety of colors here mid-race as people decide to go on to a different set of compound and get off the rain tires.
Yeah, as I'm seeing a great battle right now between Buhalasa and Weiser. They're so close together, and they're also reeling David Begg in. That's for 8th, 9th, and 10th.
Will Weiser's had himself a real good week this week at Portland. A win on Wednesday, a second place on Friday. Let's ride with Will.
Goes. All the way to the inside. Thinks better of it. But Buhalasa is making a move on Kerr.
Oh! And we're going to go 3 wide off the corner. Whoa, whoa, whoa! Oh, and I think Weiser lost part of his front wing.
I was so unlucky. I mean, credit to Weiser. The way he set that move up was brilliant, but he just caught a bit of a wet patch on the exit.
What a save, though. That could have been a race ender for him. And Begg is not done. That battle keeps going. Go ahead, Ryan.
I was just going to say it was so unlucky though, because it was just the way you could have gained 2 positions in one move. That would have been some move.
Yeah, he could have.
And I think Will himself will probably be kicking him as Weiser runs wide, and he's got basically no front downforce.
That's what how Dan Piazza is able to go by, and here comes Weiser to the pits, get a new front wing. I mean, he has the pace, so he should be able to make it back.
Now, unfortunately, this isn't well, I don't think the track is dry enough for him to go to anything but a set of rain tires, so he can't gamble here as we see another car come into pit road just behind him. That is Polly Bay. I think it's too early to change compounds, as your leader is Berryman by 1.3 seconds over Munoz. Berryman and Munoz have been swapping back and forth the fastest lap here of the race. We're still trying to get trading paints to work here. Don't want that.
Honestly, I don't know where to look. Now, David Beck just made it by Buhalasa again. Oh, Buhalasa gets so squirrely coming off of, what was that, 11. There's action everywhere. Caleb this year is closed on Torre Valley, that's for P11. Bashir didn't have the best start, lost 8 positions. He's now got back 2 of those and trying to make a move on Valley there.
Yeah, I think the other reason for moving out of the spray for Bashir is basically because the spray is so bad, you cannot see a thing. So sometimes you've got to move offline just so you can see what's ahead of you. And I think Brasier is doing that, but it looks like I wouldn't be surprised if he gets his move done hit on the next lap.
Now he's trying the outside. It should be able to close back in. They're side by side. Oh, nice. Brashear gets it done. Nice move there. Not typically a place you would pass on if it were not raining. But since it slows you down just enough, you're able to make it by.
Yeah, there's a lot more passing zones when the conditions are like this. Because I'm still trying to figure out how to get the paints to download, and they are not agreeing for some reason. We've had issues with trading paints now for a couple of weeks.
Not sure what happened to Palave. He's right now in the pits.
Yeah, with a
Has been
meatball
there for a
flag.
long
Yeah.
time.
Okay, that's interesting. Okay, paints are starting to change now.
Oh, I see what happened with him.
Oh, there we
Backfire,
go.
He got a ton of damage.
There we go. We're starting to get paints now. The one that I know for sure, if I go to Rashad, Craig, because I know Rashad's by the back of my hand. You know, that's that green and black. Okay, we're getting paints now. It only took me to restart trading paints 3 times. We're at lap
Third
9
time this time.
of we're at lap 9 of 110. World, all is well in the world right now as trading paints is now working. The rain is falling. Rain tires are on. The overlay is working. It could be a whole lot worse. But you talked about the incredible history of IndyCar here at Portland in your intros, guys. IndyCar has been to Portland 30 times. It's been 30 races. If it's hard to believe, it's been that long. 30 times since 1984, 24 times during the Champ Car World Series years. Those ran from 84 to 2007, and 6 times under the current sanctioning body since 2018. Now, you're probably wondering what did actually run here, what IndyCar has run here in the current modern IndyCar as we know it right now. The IR05s and the DW12s never ran here. Now, someone's going to be out there yelling at me going, but Gary, the IR18s are DW12s. Yes, I know they are. So we'll just call them the old-style DW12s never ran here. The IR18s are the only thing that ever ran here when IndyCar has returned. All races that have been ran here at Portland under the IndyCar Series, current IndyCar Series, have been exclusively in the IR18. Now, you talked about track records here before, Antonio. The track record in kart was set back in 2000 under a slightly smaller configuration, or at least in terms of the way the track was measured at 1.969 miles. And that is held by Helio Castroneves with a time of 57.7 seconds here around this facility. The IndyCar track record, the more modern track record, set in 2019 under this current configuration, set by Colton Herta with a time of 57.8. Your career wins leaders here as Perriman goes purple. Munoz goes purple, so we're going to have a battle of purple laps as Munoz starts to reel in Perriman at the front of the pack here. Your career wins leaders here at Portland are Al Jr. and Michael Andretti with 3. Emo, Mario, Zanardi, DeFerrin, D'Amata, Bourdais, Will Power, and Alex Palou each have 2. And of course, your current defending NTT IndyCar Series winner from 2025 or last season, 2024, is Will Power. That was his 44th career win. He is reminder of that. He is 4th all time in IndyCar history. A lot of people kind of gloss over that fact when you think about Will Power as someone that is maybe trying to fight for their seat at Penske. He is 4th all time in wins here in the IndyCar Series. That man should not have to fight for a seat, in my opinion.
No, he shouldn't.
But what are you guys seeing a better battle out there? I'm watching the 2 leaders right now run each other down and get a camera shot.
Bujalasa, Piazza, and Brashear, they were so close together. They actually even touched, and I think Craig Hill Brashear lost his front wing by the result
he's missing a left front wing plane there as Berryman goes purple again. I think the track is drying out. The sun is definitely out.
Yeah, right now it's not raining.
Track's still very wet. We'll go back up to the battle for the leaders, between the leaders up here and again. So some notable facts about Portland. Portland is the site of Al Jr.'s first IndyCar win here. Believe that. You would think of him more of an oval guy, but his very first win came on a road course. That was back in '84, and he has 34 total wins and is 9th all-time in IndyCar history. The first ever IndyCar race with a standing start was held here in 2007. The late Justin Wilson was on the pole for that one. The two closest, and you talked about this as well in our opening, the two closest road course finishes in all time have happened here at Portland. The first in Father's Day in 1986, Mario edged out a low-on-fuel sputtering Michael Andretti to the finish line by a scant 0.07 of a second for Dad to beat Son. And in 1997, in a track very similar to this in terms of its conditions, with the track rapidly changing from wet to dry, British journeyman driver Mark Blundell gambled with slick tires late in the races, got his first career win, edging out Gilles de Ferran on rain tires, who narrowly almost missed joining Al Jr. and Michael Andretti to tie them for the most wins here at Portland all time. But and also a very hard charging, you mentioned Raul Boisel, who was also on slicks by 0.27 of a second and 0.557 of a second, respectively, behind the leader. This stands as the closest road course finish 1-2 and closest road course 1-2-3 finish in IndyCar history. And it's approximately, as it rates with other finishes in league history, 17th all-time, give or take. So that's, you would think it'd be a lot closer to that, a lot higher on the list, but that just tells you how many close finishes have been in IndyCar history over its 100-plus years of being in existence. The 86 race is not even within the top 20. That's how to show you how close other finishes have been. So a lot of history here of IndyCar at Portland, and it's good to have them back on the schedule, and I think they'll be coming back for quite a long time. This is a staple of the IndyCar schedule.
Yeah, 100%. One of those tracks that is synonymous with IndyCar, honestly. That it felt wrong not having it on the calendar.
Exactly. It's like this and Long Beach and Mid-Ohio and Road America. If it doesn't show up on the schedule, you're asking yourself, well, what's going on?
Yeah. That's the track keeps drying, although I'm looking at the radar. Right now we're in a bubble. We're in a dry bubble, and then there comes a little bit more rain, then a little bit more dry, another little bit of a bubble, and then even more rain. So I don't know. I mean, I see that now everybody's trying to go to the wet part to cool down those tires. It's important, because otherwise, if you're using them on the dry parts, they degrade really quickly. But it's going to be a very interesting call to make. Like, are you going to gamble and go to slicks when you know that there's potentially more rain in the horizon? I don't know. I'm happy that I'm not in this position, honestly.
So if we were racing under a dry race, this could be anywhere between a 3-stop or a 4. Well, you could do it a 4-stop if you really, really wanted to. 4-stop, 3-stop. I don't think anyone, even under the rain conditions, can do a 2-stop here. That would involve getting to about lap 36, 37. I think we're looking at 3 or 4 stops. But a pit road speed limit of 50 miles per hour here, which I thought was very high for a road course, and that it is what it is here. But remember, this is an open setup event, so everybody has a slightly different setup on their car. We'll see how they have their cars set up under these rain conditions. Typically under rain conditions, you want to dial in a lot. First of all, you want to make the rain course set. Oh, as we watch a car right behind this battle here get off course. That is San Marino? San Minto, yeah. He gets off course. He's back on. Behind him, Walker Green sporting one wing as well. But typically on a rain setup, you dial in a lot of downforce. But you also leave that setup flexible to the fact that you can dial all that downforce out when the track dries out. You can't just go back to pit road under a pit stop and load a new setup. That's not allowable here, as the leaders are now behind this battle.
Yeah, now there's, Berryman just like right in the back of everybody else, and, that has brought Jaden right to the back of him.
Oh, no.
Berryman tries to navigate traffic. I don't know if he got damaged there.
I think Berryman might have got some slightly cosmetic damage on the front left. The front left.
Yeah, the front left wing does. Does it look at askew to everybody? Is it at a higher angle? I think it is. Let's ride with Berryman. We'll see. I don't know.
I think he got away with it. I don't really see any damage to the wing, but man, that was close. And now,
no. Go to Berryman's in-car and then go to Jaden Munoz's in-car, and you see the front wings at a different angle as Munoz goes to the inside into the chicane and clips the curb big time and gets the position. So Berryman's car, at least in my graphics, he is damaged.
We've got more rain.
And the rain has returned.
This is the thing with the rain.
Oh, yeah. No, I see what you mean. Yeah, he definitely has damage.
Check out this
Berryman
in-car
does.
shot. Look at these graphics with these individual beads of water moving up. The commercial for Rain-X.
And there's a back mark holding
Berryman.
mirrors up. This might give Berryman a chance to try and make a move, but I don't think he'll take any risks.
Yeah, he needs to get this car and nurse it home for another 17 laps when that window for the pit stop opens up here. Look at how he used that runoff road there to make the apex of that turn wider. Everybody using every inch of the racetrack.
And it's funny. It's raining on one end of the racetrack, but it's not raining on the right where we were in the fast section of turns 8, 9, and 10. There was no rain. Go back here after passing the start finish line. A lot of rain. That's so fun that we can get those dynamics here. Where the cloud is just above us right now. Now Jaden Munoz is trying his hardest to make it by the Civil Lazar. And there are not very many places where they can hide. I mean, there's nothing that Silva or anybody else is doing wrong. It's just like, it's not the widest track, and it has a lot of turns.
So according to the weather graphic we have on the screen, precip now is at 11%, with the track classified as lightly wet. Here's Munoz to the inside of Wallen, and we'll get that position. That's actually Richards, I believe.
Yeah, Cyan Richards.
This is I think we had three splits today. We actually had a pretty good week so far with participation. 3 splits on Wednesday, 3 splits on Friday, 3 splits today. This is the highest strength of field race of the weekend so far, as it should be. A 39.02. Kevin Burrell is your points leader. Is not in the lineup today. He has 21 top 5s and 7 wins and 27 starts this season of the IIS. He's also our pole leader with 6. So basically just showing you once again, starting up front always helps. Alan Bruteau is second. He's not in today's race either. He has no wins but 11 top 5s with an average finish of 8th and 22 starts. Nathan Moore. Nah, he is in the lineup there. He is. Get him on camera.
Running 6 right now.
Yep,
Yeah.
doing pretty good. And Nathan is currently 3rd in points with 1 win, 11 top 5s, and only 23 incidents over 19 starts. We talked about him talked with him about that last time when he was on the podium, and he kind of prides himself on making every lap as perfect and clean as possible. And then, of course, Ethan Morris now has moved up to 4th now. He has 3 wins and 9 top 5s and 25 starts. And joining the top 5 is our good pal Logan Edwards now with 4 top 5s and 15 starts. And that is our points coming in, our top 5 in points. I'll have a points graphic here on the screen here a little bit later for the IIS with only 2 races to go. But much like Alex Palou, Kevin Burrell looks like he is in the driver's seat. It looks like it might be his championship to lose to go back-to-back, also just like Alex Palou.
Yeah, Munoz just put Charival in a lap down. Now he's trying to catch Pujalasa. That's P11, and We're only starting lap 21.
Lap 20, yeah. Just showing you the difference in pace throughout the field. Some people may be holding on for dear life. Others have, looks like it may be, and maybe this is a question that I should ask you, Ryan. You do some racing in other formulas. How does racing in the rain in the IndyCars, Munoz is to the backside now of Brualasa. If you can get by maybe on the backstretch. How does the racing, rain racing differ in the IndyCar, say from something from a more full body, like LMP1 or LMP2 or GT3 car? What's it feel like in an IndyCar?
I would say, excuse me, I would say in an IndyCar, for me, I find it a lot easier because you can see a lot more around you. You're not closed off like you would get, like you would say you would be in an LMP2, for example, because of the closed cockpit. With the IndyCar technically still being an open top car, if you like, you can still, there's a lot more visibility. Visibility around you.
Emery Anderson says in chat, I wanted to run this race, but the frames per second were too low in the rain. Should head over to Micro Center and pick up a new GPU or CPU, RAM, and a new GPU. Long overdue. As far as I'm concerned, you never really need an excuse to go to Micro Center. If you just want to go, go. Of course, my wife doesn't like that. That involves me buying something. We're pretty lucky in Indianapolis to at least have a Micro Center.
There you go. Meals and Piazza are fighting tooth and nail there for P9.
Well, they know they're at the tail end of the lead lap. They got to go. They got to go.
Piazza had overtaken Mills, but then went super wide, lost all his track position. And yeah, like you said, now he has Jaden Munoz right behind him. So I think he's probably going to get away. Yeah.
This is pretty amazing because Principal Dan, and we're talking about Dan Piazza here, and I call him Principal Dan. I will explain that here in a second. That is part of old channel lore. But he is an outstanding road course racer in these cars. And he has been put down a lap in 10th spot after 23 laps here in the rain. That just tells you how much the rain changes the field up. Some people go directly to the top. Some people that normally we would see at the top kind of hanging on, and that might be what Dan's going on right now. But yes, you heard me call him Principal Dan. Dan is a headmaster at a school in the Monza area. Yes, the Monza track. You know, the track that has the big oval that everyone likes to run in the Dallara Dash series. That will never be ran in real life. The Monza track that everyone loves, where the Italians will come out onto the grid after every Ferrari win. That Monza, that's where he lives right there. So that is very cool that he lives in the Monza area. And we've seen him before in the Formula Indy Series. Always among one of the fastest cars there. And he's hanging on right now in 10th spot. Principal Dan, good to see him back on the stream now, as Munoz and Berryman are by, and now Munoz is by Taylor Mills. So we are lapped now up to the 9th spot as the top 8 remain on the lead lap. 24 laps into this thing. Thanks for joining us. Thanks for putting up with the early technical issues. I'm going to blame the rain. I will not lip sync that. I will not lip sync it like Milli Vanilli.
Taylor Mills got all kinds of sideways just in front of Berryman. I'm sure that Berryman is like, man, again? Come on. We're also getting very close to, that pit window opening up. I mean, in the dry, these cars can go maybe 27, 28 laps. I would imagine that, again, we might have been able to get another lap or two because of the wet conditions. So I guess we're going to start seeing some guys coming in the pit soon, or maybe they'll wait it out and see if they have their team talking to them. They can look at the weather and the radar. There is coming, there's going to be a little bit of another dry spot coming in a couple of laps, so we'll see what they do.
And the window, talk about if we wanted to do we are in that 4-stop window right now. In fact, we're probably 3 laps away from the 3-stop window opening up. But a 4-stop window, everything opens up at lap 22. So we are in that window right now. If anyone stopped, I don't think anyone has.
Well, Tori Vallin went doing a little bit of landscaping while Will Weiser was going side by side with Civil SR. He's still making that move happen. And now they're going three wide. Oh my god!
I have to rewind that real quick. There we go. Here is the battle for three wide. They just caught Pally Bay at the wrong time. And they're in that turn 7, that profiled turn 7 area. And there they go off the corner. And it gets narrow just as they get to this kink left here. And there you go. See him making it through.
And remember, Will Weiser reached back there because he got damaged. He lost the wing, so he had to come in and change it. Now he's charging back up front. Like, he's already cut all these guys. Now he's 12 seconds behind Will Asa, but he's faster. So
notice
that
notice that Will Weiser's in a new livery. He's not in that American Legion livery that normally he is in for. Unless you guys see the American Legion, he's not in the American Legion livery for me. Do you guys see him in the American Legion livery?
No, he's on a Luke Mans.
Yeah, that would make him teammates with Logan Edwards. So a team has wisely got smart and picked this guy up.
And I think there were 2 of those cars in today's race. Let me see if I can find the other one. Oh, maybe not. Wait, I think Bashir was a part of it. Let's see.
Bashir,
Caleb Bashir.
Bashir's out, unfortunately. I can't get a live cam on Caleb, though. But
yeah, Caleb Bashir also part of Luke Mansky Racing.
And
so,
Luke Mansky adding to the ranks. Congratulations to them. Right now, your leader from the Williams eSports squad is Jaden Munoz. Right behind him is Peter Berryman. Peter is always my pick when he's in the lineup. And he'll probably tell me to stop doing that because when I pick him, well, I don't know yet. We still have a race to go.
Oh, Jaden Munoz. Power's lighting up of 11. Man.
Watch this again as conditions are rapidly changing now. It's moderately wet as the track is classified. Look at this. And he's so lucky that extra tarmac was there. He is so lucky that extra tarmac was there.
Wow, yeah. And he still did a 106.1. Crazy fast lap time for him.
Well, I saw someone in chat. Someone in chat said, was it Anna there, that when they get to the 105s, that might be the crossover? I don't know if I read that right.
Well, that would make sense.
Yeah, Anna says crossover for drives to work is mid to high 105s. So we're about a second away from seeing drivers and teams think about maybe going to slicks, but the track just looks too wet. I mean, there's too much rooster tail out there for a lot of these cars.
Yeah, plus there's still some wet patches around the track offline as well. So, yeah, I think it would be too risky to switch to dry tires at this stage anyway.
And for those that were watching, that I threw some terminology at you, and I didn't mean to. Those that don't know what the term rooster tail means, that big spray off the back of the car. In real life, it doesn't very well show it here, but in real life, it shoots water out at a high arc, and it resembles the tail of a rooster. So that's why they call it a rooster tail. Here, it just kind of looks like mist.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, it's still raining, so there is more water being added to the racing surface. Although the sun is coming out, and again, we know that there's going to be another dry patch coming. So I don't know. I guess somebody could realistically try, but since there are so many low-speed corners and very twisty roads, especially in that section after 3, corners 4, 5, 6, and 7, just before coming to the backstretch. I don't know. It might be a little too risky to switch to slicks just yet.
Yeah, I would not be willing to make that gamble at this point.
Munoz is in, though. You're a leader coming in. Let's see what he does. I would imagine that he's going to go to another set of wet tires, though.
You'll see when those sidewalls change. Someone else coming in the pit road. I believe that's Principal Dan coming in behind him as he hits his marks up on the pneumatic jacks here. Oh, interesting. he's never gone up on the jacks. He might not be changing tires. He didn't change tires.
No
he stayed
change.
he stayed on the wets.
Yeah, I can kind of understand that decision in a way, because it means on the outlap, unlike with new tires, it probably takes a lap or two to get them up to temperature. With staying on your basically your current set of wet tires, it means you don't have that problem.
So apparently
honestly
the wear of the wet tires. Sorry, Antonio, I'll give it back to you here in a sec. But the wear of the wet tires, apparently that says it's pretty good to at least go or consider going another stint with them.
Yeah, no. First of all, it must be because I don't think they would try it otherwise. But the other part is that's such a smart move not to change tires, just keep them there, because first 2 laps getting the tires up to speed can be so treacherous, and you can lose everything that you have built and you have raced for in the first stint, just because you're trying to get them up to speed and maybe get a 10th or 2 off of those brand new tires. So
well, there is a Berryman on pit road, by the way. He's down and away. We didn't see if he went up on the jacks. We'll watch. He went up on the jack, so he went with a new set of wets. Is it possible that Jaden, and also Berryman got his front wing fixed, as you see it snap back in the place there. Is it possible that Jaden maybe forgot to check boxes?
I don't think so.
Okay.
I mean, he could have someone spotting for him that's setting all the pit options up, so it could be a case of if Jaden's got someone being a spotter or a race engineer for him, it could be. Maybe they've asked if he feels comfortable with his current tires, and he's told them not to change them.
Especially because it's a decision that you have to make consciously. The default is that the tires are going to be changed, so you have to unclick or uncheck the tire that the tires will be changed. So yeah, that's a conscious decision. And for Berryman, I think, he needed to get that front wing fixed. He did. I was just looking at his cockpit view. It looks like all good for him now. And that also explains the 6-second difference between Jaden Munoz and Peter Berryman right now. And I think, they were going to wait anyway on that, so might as well just change the tires and have an advantage maybe at the end of this stint.
Well, their time together on pit road is not that much different. Jaden was on pit road for 36.2 seconds, 10.9 in the box. Berryman was in pit road for 35.7 in the box for 10.3. Berryman should be closer. It's looking like that the difference really is being boiled down to in-lap and out-laps here, as Munoz has moved on to now a 6-second lead over Berryman. So I think the transition on pit road actually falls to the advantage. Oh, as he goes through the grass and has us right there in 12 and 11. I think the transition to pit road was actually faster for Berryman, but the in-lap and out-laps were much better for Munoz.
Well, that's interesting. But still, at least Berryman got his wing fixed. Liam Kerr goes doing a little bit of landscaping. Oh. Trying to get back on track, his spins, and now goes to the other side.
Oh, and here comes, who's that around him? That is our leader.
Munoz.
Sorry, that's our leader. Yeah. We have a couple of Williams eSports cars out there. Now, the great thing for Liam, who's up 12 spots in P7 here from where he started the race in 19th, and he's on his outlap right now, so he's trying to bring those wet tires up to temperature. He was lucky that he did hit the grass with rain tires. At least he had a little bit of grip there to help him out.
Yeah. Yeah, had it been the slicks, there's no way.
No way.
That shows you how tough it is. As I'm also looking, Will Weiser has caught Buhalasa. Remember, we checked that there was a 12-second difference between those two. Well, Weiser is now right at the back of Buhalasa. That's for P10 actually.
If you enjoy P1's coverage of the IndyCar iRacing Series Saturday Top Split, and you respect the stream, please do us a solid. And we could definitely use that solid today. Make sure you support us by subscribing. It's been a rough day, I'm going to tell you. And while you're at it, don't forget to smash like and click the bell so you'll miss out on future P1 iRacing broadcasts. I want to pop on the in-car here, Will once again, as we'll bring up his driver inputs and show you visibility of what it's like in the rain with a moderately wet racetrack and not raining right now. 0% precip falling. And either one of you guys, I know that both of you guys are experienced drivers. I don't know if you've gotten any practice here at Portland, but talk about using these curbs. Everyone is using these curbs like they're going away.
I mean, you kind of have to. Otherwise, you're slow. That's it. You kind of need, especially in this twisty section of 4, 5, 6, you need to go as wide as possible. Use as much of the racetrack as you can, because that's what enables you to keep momentum. However, in the rain, well, those strips are super wet and paint is usually really bad. So you kind of need to find a balance. What do you think, Brian?
Yeah, it's something I've learned as well after getting some driver coaching as well to try and improve in the wet. Is basically what I got told was basically is try and avoid taking the normal racing line in some corners. Obviously, on the inside of some corners or outside of some corners, you might have some standing water, and if you get in that standing water, you're pretty much a passenger sometimes. And if you try and take the curbs in the wet, especially the curves being wet, basically can they suck the car in and swing you around, or basically you can make a mistake as well. So I agree, you've got to find that balance of using the curbs as well, but you don't want to take the curbs in the wrong places with them still having the standing water or being wet. Otherwise, you're pretty much a spin. So it's a balance of, you want to push, but you've kind of got to be patient at the same time.
Yeah, 100%. And you can also see it right here. If we're with Will Weiser right now, you can see all the standing water here. That is not fast. You need to find where you can actually go and mash into the throttle a little earlier. And that's why we are mentioning that every single lap is going to be different in the wet, because you need to go find that grip.
Oh, nice pass.
He makes a move, but
nice
move,
pass right there on a very tight portion of the race course. Move. Will now into the top 10. You saw him using push to pass to set that one up, and here is the push to pass situation for the field. 184 from our leader Munoz, Berryman 187, Derugna 162, Mosteller 181. Looks like Nathan Moore has barely used the button in 194, same as Rashad Craig with 192 and 194. However, Kerr, Liam, in his assault from 19th to 12th, has spammed the button an awful lot. He's at 88 seconds left. But look at Brualasa. He's hit the button a little bit like this is Mario Kart, and he has got 77 seconds left, and we aren't even to the halfway point. It's
another battle brewing here. That's for the top 5. Rashad Moore.
Rashad Craig and Moore. Whoa, 3 wide here with a lot of traffic.
They have Silva Lazar in front of them. Silva and Nathan both use a little bit of that, that curve into standing water that slows them down a tiny bit. Rashad got a little bit of a better exit, but Nathan is on the bottom, trying to get by Silva Lazar. They're going to try. Rashad moves all the way to the inside. He's going to have a good exit here. Should be able to clear Silva and keep on trying to catch Nathan. There's that 105 that we were talking about, Peter Berryman.
There it is, and he's eaten more than a second up from Munoz. So I'm wondering, though, maybe the wets are good for a stint and a quarter before they start to fall off or something. Are those wet tires? Are those older wet tires now on its second stint? Are they going to hold up for a full second stint?
Well, I don't know, but it's starting to rain again. So just when it seems like everything's going to be drying up and that we're going to be able to transition to a dry racetrack, well, the rain is like, no. This is a wet race. today.
Yeah.
It's not like a thunder and super hard storm
Yeah.
or anything, but it's just enough to keep the track wet.
I believe the climate of the Northwest here in the United States is actually kind of classified as a coniferous rainforest. Coniferous, meaning that it's a lot of pine trees and trees like that, a lot of green trees out of here. Not what you expect from a jungle, but but it still rains an awful lot like the jungle. And your typical rain, now like on a jungle rainforest, you'll get those thunderstorms and stuff like that. Here, the rain is, as exactly as you mentioned, kind of that light mist that is annoying and never goes away. A lot like the weather you kind of get in your neck of the woods, Ryan. It's just you look outside and it's just like, mist. And you look outside and 2 days later and it's, mist. And that is Portland. I've been there. I have family there. And I've been to this racetrack. This is my only road course I have ever been to, as a matter of fact. I sat in the festival curves back here in the race that one of the races that Jill DeFerrin won when he was racing for Walker Racing. And luckily that was a day that it was real sunny and the weather was great. But everyone, when they come to a race here, even when the weather says it's good, typically they're packing something just in case the Portland weather goes south. And Portland weather goes south. The saying is, much like it is here in Indianapolis during the month of May, wait 5 minutes and the weather changes. That's pretty much the same thing all season long, all year long at Portland.
I mean, it sounds fun until you're there all the time. And then you have to deal with that stuff. Like,
I don't see an awful lot of cover here. I don't see a lot of awful lot of cover here. People that can go dive into when it starts raining. But I will tell you, there are a few places more miserable than the Indianapolis Motor Speedway when it rains. That place is awful, completely awful. And I say that out of many, many, many rain delays that I've had to stand under those stands and wait for the track to dry off.
I can kind of attest to that. I was there, this year. It rained. It didn't rain that much, but still wasn't like the most pleasant experience. There is no way to run.
No, there's not very many. Well, everyone runs to the same spots. There's a lot of spots, but you got 300,000 people that are all running to the same spots. Oh, Berryman taking a look at the inside there of Lazar, trying to get by him and start his reassault on Munoz, as Munoz is in lap traffic as well. Here he is coming into the first part of the festival curves in turn 4.
Yeah, and Valen is also closing in on Lazar, so that's also a battle. That's for PE11.
Yep.
Lazar quietly up 10 spots.
Up 10 spots, yeah.
Position.
21st, started 21st on the grid. Good run for Lazar. No, the most painful thing about diving into cover at Indianapolis Motor Speedway is when the downpour gets so bad that every water starts collecting in places. Whoa, careful, Lazar.
That's Steven Munoz. Hold on, that's our leader. He went off.
Oh, no.
Sorry to interrupt you, but
we gotta watch it again. Let's see what happened. He just passed Rashad Craig. I think Rashad probably thought discretion was a better part of valor and kind of let him go. But it looks like Munoz was full push, and he's been power slide. Okay. Yeah, he he's been getting lucky through that set of corners all day long, and luck ran out there because normally he's been sliding through and he kind of gets caught. He catches it in that tarmac area, which takes that leads a bit of the race course back to the drag strip area here they use for the drag strip. Yeah. And it just didn't catch for him, and it sent him right out into the grass, so he kind of ran out of luck there. But he's been power sliding through that set of corners all race long.
Man, what a save again. He did a great job hanging onto it. But yeah, that section is so fast when you're on the drive. And, a lot of drivers I've seen have been taking it much calmer and, a little bit more nuanced approach to these couple of corners. And Jaden was just throwing it in. And that's also why he was so fast, or he is so fast. Just that one of those times it caught him. And, that's what happens also with rainy weather. You don't know, you're gonna get the unexpected at some point because every single lap is different. But happily, he's back in it. He didn't really lose that much. I mean, he did lose the lead, but he's still within striking distance, 3.5 seconds behind Berryman, and we still have a race in our hands.
Yeah, I was just watching the replay as well, and it looked like Munoz might have caught one of the damp patches, or basically puddles on the inside of not the left side corner, but the right hand corner just before the final corner. There was a bit of a puddle, and I wonder if when he went over that, it's kind of just pulled the car in,
And
or
track
basically pulled the car into a spin.
Track is still classified as moderately wet. Here he comes through that set of corners again. See, that's that part of tarmac right there. You just see him run over. That's been saving him a lot, and it didn't catch last time.
Okay, looking at the weather radar, it seems that this is the last of the rain for a while. So I would venture to say that this next pit stop, we're going to see a couple of cars deciding to go to a slick tire.
105.8 for Munoz, fastest lap. I think we're seeing a little bit of mist in his eyes as he's like, I want that lead back. But we are now down again into the 105s. He's 2.7 seconds behind our leader. And you're right, next round of pit stops might decide what we decide to go to. And man, I really wish, and I don't know if I don't know if there's any overlay developers that are watching right now, but I gotta think though, that weather radar that iRacing uses that you're watching that I can't go to, I gotta imagine that that's information that can be used in the overlay somehow, and I just don't know how to do that. Or maybe if a dev is watching, maybe they know how to do that. But that would be real interesting if I could, just like they do on real races, show you the weather radar. The best I could do is show you what the condition of the track is and what the percent of precipitation is.
There must be some way that we can make something like that happen.
Gotta have my Weather Channel radar up on the screen for you.
Yeah, and a green screen and everything for you.
Yeah. But right now, the battle is up the front. It is Berryman and Munoz. That is your closest battle on the racetrack. Everyone else is kind of paced out. Although, go back to this battle for 11th between Lazar and Wallen. That is one of two closest battles on the racetrack, and that's a battle for 11th and a battle for 15th between Green and Richards. That is a battle for 15th. That is the two closest battles on the racetrack. Anyways, I was getting ready to say about Indianapolis, the worst part when it rains at Indianapolis is then when the rainwater collects in the trash bins, and then then it starts to warm up and the humidity hits. All of the odors that you would expect to come from wet trash come out. And then all the odors you expect to smell from people that have been wrapping themselves in ponchos and trapping all their internal body odors, that starts to come out, and you mix everything together, and it's just like, oh, it's awful. Just awful.
Oh, man. Yeah, that definitely sounds awful. I didn't really have to go through any of that. Luckily, the rain delay was not that much.
And hope you're not near one of the and hope you're not near one of the restrooms.
Oh yeah.
But other than that, Indianapolis is fine.
It's a blast, man. It's so great to be there.
Ryan,
but I can totally imagine it being pretty miserable when it rains.
Yeah. So Ryan, we got to get you here, just like we got Antonio here the last couple of years. Antonio came all the way from Mexico to come to the Indy 500. When we met, where did I take him to eat? A Mexican restaurant.
Of course. It was not my request, by the way. Just if anybody's asking, like, oh, he asked to go to a Mexican. No.
Actually, it's my family's favorite restaurant. And like, it was only after I realized, like, man, he's coming all the way from Mexico. It's like me going down to Mexico and eating like at McDonald's or something.
McDonald's, yep. But it was really good, by the way. Just gotta call it out.
Rashad Craig. Sorry, Rashad Craig and Moore battle for 5th here.
Oh. Must have been an error from Moore, because he was 2.5 seconds in front of Rashad. So let me see what happens.
Moore's going to take a peek on the outside, coming down the backstretch. It's about this point here in 86 where Michael Andretti starts to run out of fuel. He's out of fuel really at this point. And he brought it home barely, but edged out by Papa on the Father's Day special back in 86. I remember watching that on TV. And the camera angle they had, of course, the live timing and scoring was still kind of in its infancy. And you
Sure.
couldn't see from the camera angle who really won. So there was a lot of confusion at the first couple of seconds after that. It's like, did Michael win? Was it Mario?
That must have been so much fun. But on the other hand, it's like, man, I want to know who won.
Well, yeah, I mean, that was in an era when IndyCar races still really didn't have close finishes, really. And a lot of it had to do with the number of different chassis and the number of different engines and the engineering of these engines. These engines these days are just bulletproof, absolutely bulletproof. And we only have the one car.
Yeah.
And back then we only had the one tire as well. But yeah, the cars were a lot more fragile back then. And today these cars, we're pretty lucky that we don't have the attrition that we see. I mean, it would be a typical kart era in the 80s race. It wouldn't be too strange to see, 3 or 4 cars fall out right away, right off the bat. Some sort of difficulty, some sort of technical failure. And then as the race goes on, the field gets down to about 10 cars or so, and that's kind of what finishes the race. That was kind of the norm. You didn't really see close finishes, but that was an awesome, and it's on YouTube, so you should check it out, everybody. After this race, go check out the 86 Portland race. I don't want to call it the Father's Day miracle, because that really understates Mario able to manage his fuel a little bit better in the sun, but definitely a learning opportunity for Michael on that day.
Yeah, 100%. Hey, here's how you do it, kid. Hey, guys, the sun is out. No more rain. The weather radar
I thought you were
doesn't
just going to start into a
show-
chorus of Annie there for a second. I just like, the sun is out. I'm like, okay, don't start singing.
No. that wouldn't be great for the channel, I think. No.
No.
But no, the sun is out, and now Berryman is deep in traffic. Yeah.
Yes, he's in very deep traffic, and Munoz is going to have to cross that same bridge, and they're going side by side. That is, who was that in front of him? That is Burlasa and Pally Bay.
Yeah.
Now,
Oh,
Pally
they get
Bay
out
was
of the
able
way.
to escape there in that reprofiled turn 7 area. That is one of the areas of the racetrack that has been reprofiled after time. It used to be a bit more sweeping curve there, and they turned into a sharper curve to kind of introduce a possible other second passing zone or third passing zone here. Because as you see at this racetrack, there are not a lot of passing zones, though you've seen a lot of passing today because of the rain.
I want to give quickly a shout out to Guillaume Darugna, currently running third. He is, he's the best of the rest. Let's call it like that. Verman and Jaden Munoz have been throwing haymakers at each other the entire race, and right now Berryman is right behind Daniel Musler, who is running fourth. He's going to put him a lap down. We are not even halfway, and the only other car that is not necessarily in that same zip code is Guillaume Darugna. So shout out to him. He's doing a great job. Running third, and pretty much in an island of his own. He's 30-something seconds in front of Musler, and 30-something seconds behind Jaden Munoz as Musler gets out of the way for Berman.
But Darugna just turned a purple lap as we're watching him.
There you go, 105.81. Truck's Ryan. Oh, Jaden Munoz getting a little bit more aggressive with those curves.
Yeah, I'm interested to see how quickly this track dries out, because if the sun's coming out now, I think it shouldn't take too long for it to dry up, or
Berryman
some of
purple.
it to dry up anyway.
Berryman purple, 105.4.
Yeah, but Berryman went purple with a 105.7. Then Munoz was
Munoz,
like,
no, yeah. Top 3 swapping the purple lap right now. Oh, Munoz sliding through the festival corners.
Oh, I caught a bit of the white line there in the curve. Oh, that was so lucky.
If you're just joining us, you are watching coverage of round 14 of 16 of the IIS Saturday Top Split, presented to you by 4D Racewear, coming to you from Portland for the first time, in the rain for the first time, as we've just about at the halfway point now, lap 52 of 110. If you're enjoying today's coverage and would like to monetarily support our commentary team, we encourage that. We do these for free on behalf of the IndyCar community on iRacing. Please see our GoFundMe link in the campaign. You can also send us super chats as well. We certainly would appreciate your donation. No matter the amount, we realize times are tough, but we appreciate it nevertheless. Thank you very much. Today's cover is brought to you by 4D Racewear. Check out their line of made-for-sim racing gloves, shoes, and apparel. Visit them today at 4dracewear.com or click on the link in today's stream description. You can also find 4D Racewear on site at the Sim Gaming Expo, September 5th through 7th in Schaumburg, Illinois. You can check them firsthand there, maybe buy a pair of gloves, get a pair of shoes, maybe some of their apparel. They got some new products coming out that they might debut there as well. And also at the show, I will be there, along with Mark Murphy and some other voices you hear on the channel. And I will get a chance to call the Gomez Sim Racing Industries Open Wheel Invitational races. That will be held throughout the weekend. They're on site at the Sim Gaming Expo eSports Arena. So check that out if you're in the Chicago area. You can buy your tickets today at simgamingexpo.com or to learn more. And join the fun for the first ever Sim Gaming Expo in Schaumburg, Illinois.
Man, I imagine that's going to be a ton of fun.
There's going to be flight simulators there. There's going to be just about every of the high-end sim racing wheel guys and rig guys are all going to be there. There's going to be system integrators there, so you can order your custom rig PC and then the rest of your rig and everything there. Yeah, and you can actually sit down and try it.
That's awesome.
My understanding, there's going to be almost a full Airbus simulator there. So you have to book time to use it, but there will be flight sims there, farming sims if you like that. There's going to be some of the intention there as we're watching Munoz now behind Richards down the front stretch. Well, Richards moves on over. It should be a really, really, really fun time there. And I think, it hasn't been announced yet, there might be a former IndyCar champion that might be a guest there that you can get autographs from. I won't say who it is. I'll tell you. I'll tell you who it is off air, but I won't say it on air because it hasn't been announced yet. So
that's fair. Guillaume the Rugna coming from P3 into the pits. Although curveball, it's raining again. Huh. This should be a light sprinkle though, so I would imagine that it's still a good idea to maybe go to.
I just noticed that if you look at the pace car on pit road, the windshield wipers are running on it. Details.
Huh. Let's see. The Rugna, he has been in the pits for a while.
He might have got a speeding penalty, although I don't see a black flag. Oh, I see a meatball for him. So did he tow to the pits?
Let's find out. Let me see. Oh yeah, he's totally destroyed. Oh no, we're kind of jigs him. Lap 53.
See what happens here. Oh, the car in front of him goes offline. He goes sideways. Oh, and he just gets clobbered. Day done.
That was David Beck, who also nowhere to go. That's just a very unfortunate racing deal.
Tori Whalen is also out. Looks like something happened to Tori in 12th. So Tori is falling down through the order. Principal Dan is retired in 19th spot. So Principal Dan is out. Some of these guys, if you could just do a typical drive to survive strategy here, you might get yourself a top 15 finish if you just bring the car home in one piece. I mean, we're just at the halfway point, guys. There's still a lot of racing to go.
Yeah, there sure is. And so right now it's Peter Berryman leading by 2.1 seconds over Jaden Munoz. Then we have Daniel Musler running third. Rashad Craig is fourth. Nathan Moore is fifth. Although I have to say Musler, Craig, and Moore already a lap down. Then we have Liam Kerr, our biggest mover of the race. He's up 13 spots to sixth. Will Weiser has made it back to seventh after that incident that he had, the early steps of the race.
Yep.
He's running seventh. Pujalasa is eighth. Guillaume Darugna still marked as ninth, but he just went past by Silvio Lazar. And then Ignacio Sarmiento is running 10th. That is your top 10. Walker Green and Jason Green.
Say the guy's name again in 10th.
Ignacio Sarmiento.
I can't do that. I can't do that. I can't do that. I'm so jealous. I can't say it.
Yeah.
I know it's Ignacio. I could say that, but
but Sarmiento is probably a
no,
little...
It is beyond my Midwestern tongue.
All right, he's still in track. Walker Green 11th, Jason Green 12th.
Yep, and they're in
Ryan Richards in 13th.
And Shane Munoz is right around Walker Green right now. For Walker's had a bit of an adventuresome race. I think we saw him missing a nose piece at one point. Some of these guys on a slightly different pit strategy.
Yeah, and Taylor Mills is running 14th. That's the last car that's actually on track. Darugna, Valin, Vech, Palabay. Well, I think Palabay is still on track. Tampiazza, Van Kirk, Brashear, Boyd, and Ethan Egan, those are all out of the race. So a lot of attrition has happened so far. Munoz
pit road for Munoz, and I would imagine he's going to go for some tires here. And I would imagine, gosh, I don't know. This is a weird one because we got no rain now, but we still have a moderately wet track. Do you go with the wet tires again? We'll watch as we'll get a zoom in of his pit stop here.
He's on the jack, so he's definitely
going to do some tires. And he's sticking with wets.
New wets, yeah. I mean, I don't know. Yeah, I mean, the radar shows that there's still a little bit more rain coming. Like, it's just developing.
Pally Bay comes out right around where Munoz comes out. Pally's like, I thought Pally was going to go through the festival chicane, but Pally goes around and just kind of allows a little extra room for Jaden. So nice etiquette there, though. But now Jaden, who has been riding on hot tires since they came up to initial temperature in his very first stint, now on new tires for the first time all race long, other than the start.
Yeah, and that additional rain that we had for a couple of minutes changed the track condition from lightly wet to moderately wet. So, I mean, if you're right on the window, which we know that they are, I would imagine that the safe bet is to move to another set of wet tires and, then bite the bullet and change them to be primaries or alternates.
Sorry, in 11 and 12, Munoz goes wide again, and right behind him is Liam Kerr. I'm telling you, Munoz has been living dangerously over in 11 and 10. I mean, so much so he might as well just put a tent there and camp there. That's how dangerously he's been living there. Oh!
And then Liam Kerr is like, no.
I'm not waiting around.
Yeah, I think Liam's racing him. I mean, I don't blame Liam for, he's in 5th spot. He wants to get as much performance out of this car as possible. But, I mean, you are a lap down and you have one of the leaders around you. I mean, how hard do you want to race the guy? But he's like, nope, I'm going to race him to stay in front of him.
Yeah, I don't know. Berryman pitting. A slow car right in front of. Right in
Oh, and
front.
we got a car
Who's
with
that?
a bad front
That's
wing. That is Lazar, a bad front wheel coming through
bad-
11 and 12 now in the infield area.
Yeah, this happened on turn 8. Oh, he got a bottle of water. Totally had to overcorrect a little bit and onto the tire barrier. No tires there, just the tire in the barrier. That's what happened.
Berryman on this outlap, and he is ahead of Munoz.
Yeah,
So
Berryman
my
on
things have changed how differently. The first stint in that exchange of pit stops, 6 seconds for Munoz over Berryman. Now it's Berryman 6 seconds over Munoz.
Yeah, I think that mistake by Munoz lost him some time, and that's it probably explains the gap to Munoz at the moment. But
I mean, he's still not able to go by care.
And that moves Rashad Craig, who last stopped at lap 31. Moves him up the third spot. Liam Kerr, he pitted at lap 32. So we expect these two for third and fourth to come to pit road about any time. That's probably another reason why Kerr was a little bit faster than Munoz, as he was extraordinarily light on fuel.
And on tires that are up to speed. Although now, again, track conditions changing. Now it's lightly wet. So would that open the door for somebody like maybe Rashad Craig or Liam Kerr to, go ahead and put a set of... Who was that? That's Sarmiento. He went wide right in front of Munoz. Now he dropped the wheel. Man, this thing has not been very kind to Jaden Munoz so far.
And my question is here, guys, if I wonder if Munoz has went for a dry setup and gambled just in case the track does dry towards the end or halfway through.
Yeah, that could be the thing, but I mean, rain is back, falling on the backstretch, nothing else on any other section of the track, really.
The precip level up to 11% now. Track classified as lightly wet, but I said, and there you see it on the screen now, falling back again down the front straight. So I would imagine we are going to see that moderately wet change to, or lightly wet to back to moderately wet as the level of dampness on the racetrack. I almost said moistness, but people don't like the word moist. The dampness on the racetrack is going to increase. The only thing that I will agree that moist is good with is with brownies. I think that's you want moist brownies. Yeah, but and most people don't like the word moist.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can see that. I can totally see that. But anyway, that destroyed that idea of Rashad Craig or Kerr coming into the pits for dry tires. That it's starting to rain a little bit harder again.
Yeah, they're back on wets. They're back on wets. Or they're not back on wets. They stayed on wets.
And it has been changing because I can see like the forecast is like, okay, it's not going to rain that much at the 50-minute hour or mark in the hour, and then it suddenly changes to 100% because it's still raining, and that's also very fun because it's very similar to how it happens in real life. Sometimes it's like the rain that you cannot see on the radar that's still going to hit you because you're still in a system, and so very, very interesting to see as Kerr makes his way into the pits, gets a new set of wet tires.
Something happened to Richards as well. He is a meatball on pit road with a very damaged Dallara IR18. So we are having more attrition as we're about halfway. We're just past the halfway point not too long ago, and we got about half the field eliminated by one thing or another.
Richards got clobbered from behind by Taylor Mills. Oof. And that it totally destroyed his car. Mills got his front wing to pop back up. That's an unfortunate end of the race for Zion Richards. Although I think
here
he
it is.
only needs to change.
He just came out of pit road, and he gets into the festival chicane. Here comes Taylor, and I think he's just gets a lot of wheel spin here. Cold, wet tires, hot, wet tires behind him. Here comes Taylor. Very much one of those, I met you at the wrong point of the racetrack, and the Punterino and around. And I think Mills is given some forgiveness by the iRacing gods on that and gets his wing back, but that is a day done for Richards.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. Darugna, 11 and a half minutes of repairs, but he's back on track.
And I think Richards is getting. We'll ride with him here in a second. Richards is getting repairs done. I see now his front wing and his rear wing are back in place. But let's pop on board here with Darugna, who was in third place for an awful long time, and that. Oh yeah, look at the. Look at the steering offset. Yeah.
Still, he was able to manage a 109. Like, I mean, that's not necessarily fast, but it's not horrible. So if he can, keep it on track, maybe he can get a couple of positions.
Oh, and there's the leader. But watch.
Oh yeah, Bergman goes by.
Look how much offset he has in his wheel just to keep the car. He should be turning a lot more because this backstretch. Let's see. Look how much offset in the wheel is in the straight part right here. Poor guy. This actually takes a lot more skill than to keep the car straight when the wheel at all is when we say it's 45 degrees, maybe a little less, but yeah.
It's like if he was, man, that's so bad. But I mean, more power to him.
Yeah, I mean, if he can if he can get one more lap in, he'll move up a position inside the top 15 and go past Lazar. So every point matters here in the IIS, and that brings me to a very good point because we've talked about the points, I have not shown you points. So let's get this other stuff off the screen here and bring up the points coming into today's race. Boop, there you go. Kevin Burrell, your leader. Berteau second. Nathan Moore third. Ethan Morris and Logan Edwards fourth and fifth, as mentioned. There is Will Weiser. He has been very aggressive here over the last couple weeks. He's been coming up into the standings. Ethan Agan. Anna Klimek is watching in 8th spot. Ty Quilla not with us right now, but he's in 9th. And Pally Bay, again, another reason why Pally is still turning laps out there. Pally's in 10th spot. I mean, every point counts right now. And Pally's actually in a tough battle with our good pal four-alarm Blaze Andrich for the 10th spot. So Pally wants to keep those wheels turning for as many laps as possible to try to gain as many points as possible in the highest strength of field race so far this weekend.
God, that's a beauty of it. If you can keep it on track and maybe you can make something happen and get a couple of additional positions, get a couple of additional points. Taylor Mills was closing in on green, but now he's
pit road.
He's the last
pit road.
one. Yeah.
And this is not a final stop for him.
No, he last bid on lap 36. So yeah, it's pretty much on his window.
Anna in chat said my name. Yes. I'm not in the race. Said my name. That's Taylor Mills. And speaking of Taylor Mills, Anna is a part of that team right there. And down and away. And pit stop done for Taylor Mills, the namesake of Taylor Mills Racing. And getting passed by Berryman. Only 2 cars left on the lead lap. Well, it's been a rough week for IndyCar in the news. I will say that at least we have rain here and not ice. But anyways. Yeah.
Yeah, that was okay. Unfortunate.
Yeah. Stupid AI, but as someone who works in IT, I can say there's a time and place for AI.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
And IndyCar social media is not it.
But there is a persistent rumor now coming out now that the schedule is not that far away. A trolling X account put out a partial schedule. Now, they broke some accurate news before, and I went ahead and asked around, like, is this legit? And they're like, oh, no, you got trolled by the site. I'm like, yeah, but some of these tracks look legit. Some of them don't. Included on that schedule were Phoenix and Homestead. I don't know about that, but not included on that schedule. I think there was a week in between the Indy 500 and the next race, and I don't think that's always the case. And then also Toronto wasn't on there, and I think Toronto has been confirmed for next season. So, but I'm just as eager as everybody else to see this new schedule for next year, especially with the dynamic of now Fox basically owning a third of the series.
That's exciting, honestly. I mean, that shows that they want to grow IndyCar. And
I mean, I kind of agree with it, but I don't at the same time. I really do hope that IndyCar doesn't turn into a Formula One thing where they try and make Drive to Survive style documentaries or whatever you call it.
I don't mind that. I don't mind the engagement on the viral and even on the viral side that might get more fans. What I don't want are NASCAR gimmicks. I don't want to. Well, yeah, I think you need to have the playoff. No, you don't need to have playoffs. Playoffs are dumb.
Yeah.
You know, the only reason playoffs are there is that one season or a couple of seasons in NASCAR, and I think it was Kansas did so well. I won the championship and only had one win, and everyone complained about that.
Yeah.
So what?
No, 2003. Yeah.
Yeah. So what? I mean, he should have won the championship because he was the most consistent racer over the entire course of your long arse season that you guys put on. So, you know, I don't see a need for playoffs here. I don't see a need for stupid things like stage racing or any bonus points given for that or anything like that. I don't see the need for any other gimmicks in IndyCar racing. I would say the only gimmick that I will tolerate is the push to pass, and that's mainly because it introduces the hybrid technology, and I think eventually that's where all forms of racing are going to be going, is alternative forms of powering these cars at some point. Will this be Formula E, 20 years from now? I hope not, but there's always a possibility that, at some point these cars might be half a battery and half a fuel tank. I don't know. I don't know where technology is going to eventually join us, but that's about the only gimmick that I would remotely tolerate. I will not do anything else that everybody's wanting to see. Green, white checker, oh my God. I will stop being an IndyCar fan on principle just so I'm sure they're going to really worry what I think about, but I will stop being an IndyCar fan altogether if we do green, white checkers.
Yeah, green and white checkers is basically the dumbest thing ever. Same with stage race. Same with stage racing in NASCAR, and the whole way thing they've got for the championship 4 or whatever you call it. Such a dumb idea.
I'm sorry. There was just a tiny bit of an incident between Taylor Mills and Jaden Munoz. I was riding on with him. Taylor Mills got super loose on Channel 11. Jaden Munoz had nowhere to go. I don't think he had any damage, but he did touch the car in front of him.
Yeah, let's watch it again at full speed here. Down the backstretch. Taylor wasn't gonna. Taylor could have lifted a little bit there and let him on by, but Taylor wasn't gonna have it. And there's a big twitch. That's a death twitch right there. And Munoz about got caught in it.
That was lucky, very lucky for Jaden Munoz.
Yep.
Although, that lost him around 3-4 seconds, and now the gap to Berryman is almost 9 seconds. And I'm sure that he's not too happy about
again. And
I just caught that.
I would like to point out, and I've said it before, and I've said it again, there have been 2 times in IndyCar history that a champion has won with no wins. Tony Bettenhausen Sr., father of Tony Bettenhausen Jr., Gary Bettenhausen, won the USAC Championship in 1958 with no wins, and Tom Sneva, one of the all-time greats. In fact, both those drivers, all-time greats drivers. won the championship in 1978 with no wins. There's nothing wrong with winning the championship with no wins. There's nothing wrong with winning the championship with 2 races ago, which could happen this weekend. But, people complain about that stuff, and, people worry about the TV ratings, people not showing interest in the next 2 races of the season. I think people will show interest, at least on the, we're watching this Mills and Jaden Munoz battle for just track position right now. I think people will pay attention to the final 2 races of the season, mainly because they're on ovals and all the road courses are done. But that's just me.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, go ahead.
No, you go ahead, Ray.
I was going to say, I've heard loads of IndyCar fans complaining about Alex Palou dominating too much, but the way I look at it is basically you've got to what you're seeing right now in IndyCar is a basically, I don't know if it sounds cheesy or not, a once in a lifetime generational talent, if you like. I don't know if that's
I would say a generational season, for sure.
Or generational season.
Yeah, for sure. Well, I don't. He could be generational talent. I mean, we're looking at 3 straight championships. He'll go into rarefied air if he gets his 4th championship. He'll be along the lines of the other 4. I got to look that up, but I mean the list of 4-time winners is very, very small.
Yeah. But I mean, it wasn't in a row.
Well, he's gone through almost 4 in a row. Will Power interrupted that, and let's talk about Will Power. I can't believe that. I mean, this guy has been the best qualifier all season for Penske. He's finished, I think, the best out of all 3 in majority of the races. I have to double check that. Ooh, Munoz again getting lucky by catching that tarmac in that runoff area, and he's fighting for his seat at Penske. And yeah, I honestly don't think. I honestly don't think if Malukas is the next guy, I don't think Malukas is any better. If you're going to put someone in the seat, you want to trade up, right? At best, I think there'd be trading laterally, maybe if not down for a couple seasons until Malukas continues to mature and get better and get at the same level of McLaughlin and Newgarden. But if you put him in that car now, he's going to be the 3rd driver, and I don't put him on the same plane as the other 2 drivers in that lineup now. But if you keep Will Power in that car, I 100% put Will Power on the same plane as McLaughlin and as Newgarden.
He's the most recent champion for Penske, and it's not like it happened 10 years ago. It's 2 seasons ago, and he's still consistently fast. He has been the most consistent of
he
all
won
the
this
Penske's.
very race a year ago that we're watching right here.
Yeah, 3 wins last year. I mean, that's just, I don't know. I actually did put a little bit of money on Will winning this race tomorrow, so we'll see what happens. But I just cannot see. I'm pretty sure that it's boiling down to the length of the contract. I imagine that Will would like to have a multi-year contract, which I don't think is necessarily feasible. But at least for next year, he should 100% be there.
I'd sign a 1-year contract with Penske. I'd sign a 2-year period. I'd do anything to stay with Penske. And I mean, even though Penske's had a hard season, Penske's shown in multiple times over the course of their team history that they can recover from having a bad season. You go to those late '90s seasons that Team Penske had when they were the Minardis of the grid for a couple seasons. Penske was. They were at the back of the grid with an aging Al Jr. and a second seat that was kind of a rotating seat of different drivers, and they were horrible, awful, and they worked their way back up to become the best again. And I fully expect. I mean, if there's any team that can recover to be the best again, that is the one team. So here are your 4-time champions right now in IndyCar history. You have Mario Andretti, Dario Franchitti, and then Sebastian Bourdais is the only one to do it 4 straight years in a row. He did it 2004, 5, 6, and 7. Now, granted, some of those were watered-down years in the Champ Car World Series, but he still did it. You still got to race the race and win the races and win the championship. So give Bourdais his flowers. But if Palou wins the championship or clinches the championship this race here tomorrow at Portland, he becomes the 4-time champion, and only above him in the ranks of who has more championships is Scott Dixon and AJ Foyt.
Yeah, I mean that's royalty. He's getting up there, and he's still like what? How old is he? Like 26? Hello?
27, I think.
27? It's crazy. I mean, he can do this for another 10, 12 years, 15, 20, even if he wants to. And as long as Ganassi still does Ganassi things, everybody else is going to need to step up. Otherwise, we're going to have a lot more talk about Palou in the future. Also, guys, super quickly, Moore was able to make his way by Rashad Craig, move him up to 4th, move Rashad Craig back to 5th, and finally, we're done with it. We don't have any more rain. The track is very lightly wet, and there is no more rain on the horizon. The sun is out. Right now, we're in that transition point, so the next pit stop, it should go to the slick tire.
Yeah, I think I was going to say we can't be too far away from the next set of pit stops. Now, what do you do if you're Berryman? Do you stay in the wet tire or stay out as long as possible and wait for the track to start drying out and see more wet lines start to form, and then jump to the switch to the slip dry tires, or do you stay out there and stay on the wets for a little bit longer?
I would stay as long as I'm competitive and turning up good lap times. Because
go ahead, guys, continue.
Because right now, I mean, it's still risky to go to a slick tire. There are so many wet spots around the track. I would give it another 2-3 laps in order to have a dry line really, really develop. Although we can start to see it form. But if I were him, I would just wait a little bit longer and have maybe somebody else take that chance. I mean, right now, the difference between Berryman and Munoz is 9 seconds. It's not going to make up 9 seconds in one lap. So maybe let Munoz be the first one to do it. If I'm Berryman, right?
Sun is out, obviously. Sun is out. Track precip now is at 0%.
Munoz, Munoz caught a bit of the curb on the exit there. That was you got a bit of a twitch there.
And he's right behind Brualasa.
And also, you're going to need to extend it anyway. I mean, even if the track were to dry right now and you had like a fully dry lane, I would stay out because, as we were talking before, the fuel tank is around 28 laps, 27 if you're doing full push. Right now, we still are at 30 to go, so at least I would give myself 3-4 laps so that then I can just go full push to the end. Otherwise, you're going to need to save.
Joseph Klein in chat says that NASCAR slander will not be tolerated. I'm not slandering NASCAR. Slandering saying lies, isn't it?
Yeah, that's basically
right in front of whoa, right in front of Munoz with the rejoin, and that was tight, boys. Whoa.
Yeah, we're not slandering NASCAR. We're just giving our opinions.
To quote CM Punk, tell me when I'm telling lies.
And I will say this: I really like NASCAR, but
as someone that spent money to go see the race in Mexico City,
I went to Charlotte. I also have gone to Martinsville. I like NASCAR a lot. I have been forever a huge Jeff Gordon fan. I still like and enjoy Kyle Larson and a lot of drivers. Matt Kenseth was one of my favorites as well. My problem with NASCAR, it has never been about the racing or the on-track product. It has been with Brian France. Brian France has started everything. He is the guy that decided that, oh no, this is not exciting enough, so let's go ahead and do a playoff run. What? Why? And then they doubled down on it. Then they brought NBC, and NBC was like, I need to have the finale. So then they decided on the winner takes all format, which is I've warmed up to it a little bit, but it's still stupid. It's still a gimmick. You're not really determining a champion of the entire year. You're determining a champion of the last couple of races.
Just who gets hot at the right time.
And folks are like, well, that's how the NFL does it. Well, yeah, but the NFL doesn't play with all the teams at the same time in the same place. that's what we do with racing. We are racing everybody every single race. So having a playoff format doesn't really make any sense. If you want to do like a separate thing, like an elimination cup or whatever at the same time, that's fine. But the typically, in my opinion, racing should always be defined by who has the most points on the entire run of the season.
Yeah.
But but
I'll tell you what, though. I mean, without the playoffs, Jimmy Johnson does not have 7 championships.
Yeah, no, wait. They took 3 away from Jeff.
Yeah,
from Gordon.
Oh, look at Berryman down the front stretch looking for a wet line right there. But now we're looking for wet lines, so this tells me that we're going to probably see people change to a different compound. The future of this race still might change. It still might become a very interesting race here if Berryman maybe stays on wets. I doubt that. I bet you he goes to slicks next.
Yeah, but there's still a lot of water coming from the back of his car, so I would imagine that it's still not ready yet for the drivers to go to slicks, so they're going to try and extend this stint as much as possible.
Sometime in the next 5 to 10 laps, we see him come to pit road. 5 to 8 laps, probably more than likely. That will get us into that 22 range, and by the notes I gave everybody at the start here, 22 is really one of the windows if you just wanted to go on a 4-stopper where you could just push every single lap, or just anything less than 22 just makes things a little bit easier for him. So.
Right, but he just speed on lap 60, so
he is
25 laps into his stint.
Yeah, he is 24 laps into his current stint.
Right.
So if he's on a 3-stopper, he's about 3 or 4 laps away from possibly dipping in there. But since we're not running at full chat because we're got a damp racetrack, he might be able to break it in more into the closer to the 30. So we'll see. We'll see. There's still a lot to be decided here. Go ahead.
Oh, Jaden Munoz just got caught up with the back
Oh,
marker.
my goodness, yes. We'll go back and take a look at that right in front of him. That is, I'm not sure who that is. That went off one of the WeatherTech sponsored. Tori Whalen?
Yeah.
Here's Wallen.
Oh,
Yeah, sorry about that, guys. I just when I went back to check on Munoz, I just saw him clip a back
See,
marker,
this is the thing with the wet races we're finding out here is where do you get the camera right? And he just a little bit of a twitch, and there was contact. There was contact with Munoz.
A heavy contact, but he got away with it. I was looking at Munoz's car, no damage.
Munoz pit into the pits as well, so I wonder I think Munoz will change to dry tires in this stop, I think.
Watch this. Doink. And that was not netcode. That was legit.
I mean, unless he has damage. I don't think so.
Let's see what happens with George. No, he's coming through pit road.
What?
That was a drive-through. He must have reached the... the number of times that he's gone off into the grass in 11 and 12, he might be at the incident limit.
Yeah, I was about to say, I wonder, he's been off track a few times, and they clipped
a few times.
Some cars a few times. So I wonder, and when you think about it, all those add up, and if you go over it, you get a drive-through. And Munoz is the unfortunate victim. So a big advantage to Peter Berryman.
A few times. Just about every time. Just about every time through 10 and 11 and 12, he goes off.
I have a marker here that says how many times driver has been off track. It doesn't necessarily mean that it's gonna mark an X, but I have Jaden Munoz leading that with 33.
Like right there.
34 now.
I think if you're a race engineer or spotter for Munoz as well, you kind of need to tell him just to rein it in a little bit. But racing drivers, they don't listen. Or sim racers in this case.
We never listen.
Yeah.
I never listened, so yeah.
I'm saying nothing.
I think that's Logan Edwards in chat says, I got plenty bored of this place this week. I bet you have. You've done pretty good. I think you got a podium earlier this week, didn't you? So maybe you can confirm then is, let's see, who is Will one of your new teammates? Will Weiser? There comes Will right there. I think he will's coming off of pit road. He just completed his stop. He's on wet tires. He's sticking on the wets.
Will last speed 4 laps ago.
I'd be real curious to see how many incidents Nathan Moore has. He's the what we call the most careful, the safest driver through everyone that's completed as many races as he's had, many weeks that he's had. And
again, take this with a grain of salt because it's not like iRacing system. It's just my overlay. But it says that he's right now in that scale of 34 that we're just talking about with Jaden Munoz. Nathan Moore is at 5. Berryman though, he's at 1.
That is the MO of Nathan Moore, is just not making mistakes out there. That's very much Berryman's MO as well.
Munoz on pit road now. That's for his final stop.
Oh, and he had Green in front of him. Green gets out of the way.
Munoz went to the wet tire as well.
Okay, so this has been it's going to be a full wet race for some of these drivers. Then and there's still a possibility that someone could come in with the 10 to go or something and throw on a set of slicks and throw some Red Bull laps out there if they want to.
Yeah. That would be the smart play. Especially for somebody like Berryman. Now that you know that Munoz went and got a pair of wet tires, go ahead and put those same tires. He's leading by
53 seconds.
seconds.
Yeah, he's got a 53-second lead right now. And that's almost a full lap. So if we look at Berryman, Berryman's entering the backstretch right now as Munoz is getting off it.
Daniel Mossler is speeding now. That is his final pit stop of the day.
Now these are waiting longer. If they go I wonder who under 20 laps might throw on the slicks, but pit road looks very damp right now. Nope, he's going to stay on the rain tires. Berryman now 29 laps into his stint, so we expect to see him on pit road. Same thing with Nathan Moore, Rashad Craig, Liam Kerr, Brualasa, Walker Green. Walker Green. I'll expect pit road here soon.
I would say though, last time by Peter Berryman did a 106.26, and remember when we were at that transition point where it was no longer raining, but the track was still very much wet. They were able to do 105.4, and that was also in low fuel. So, I mean, I don't know. It sounds to me like it might be an interesting time.
Here it comes. Here it comes. Here he comes. Our leader.
But again, the smart call would be just to go to wets as everybody else and be done with it. Because I'm not racing, I would put it on the slick tire.
Yeah, it's easy for us to say. Oh, slides in.
Up to Jax.
Nope.
That's wet tire.
It'll be a full wet race.
That's smart call.
There was talk early in the week that this might be, it could go anywhere from, there's Pally Bay staying wide. Good show for Pally. So early in the week, there was talk that this could be a wet race early and then a dry race late. Then there was talk that it was going to be a dry race all the way. And that angered a lot of people. It's like, come on, this is, you're giving us the tires now. You're giving us the wet, let's do a wet race, legit. Because remember, midway through this season, we got the code update, or we got the application update, the iRacing update, that'll introduced not rain racing, but rain tires. Yeah, rain tires for IndyCar.
Yeah.
And everyone's like, well, now we got them, so we expect a rain race. There was rain in the forecast for Mid-Ohio, just didn't come. And I say they should have put rain in the forecast at just about any one of the road courses, for that matter, just to kind of get it out of the way. But it doesn't have to be regionally correct, but it's regionally correct here as Berryman down the front straight looking for a wet line. He goes low down the front straight, at least midway down the middle of the back stretch or front stretch. So everyone was kind of upset that we wouldn't see it at all. And now we got a full wet race. So I think all things considered, this plays out pretty well. And anybody in this split should be pretty happy that they got the experience that they were after.
I'm psyched that we got a full wet race, honestly, and not only that, but that we have been getting changing conditions. Because if it's this like downpour all the time, that's not as fun. Although, I mean, the drivers are going to have to do a lot of work to keep the car on track. But having this change from very wet to moderately wet to lightly wet to again moderately wet, and now we have the sun out, and it might get dry in the next few laps. I mean, that's still a possibility. I start to see a dry light developing, especially on the back half of the circuit. And I mean, this has been a ton of fun. And the rain tires, everything that has to do with the raining with racing on the rain, has been a blast to do. The car is so much more recoverable from spin. You can throw it in there. And that's why we saw Jaden Munoz go, be very aggressive with it, because you can do it. So yeah, I would expect that for the next season on the IAS, we're gonna get, maybe not everywhere, but in many places, a rain chance. I mean, it wouldn't make sense to have it at Laguna Seca, for example, especially on the time of race of the year that we race there. But everywhere else, I mean, gee, why not?
Yeah, I agree with that. I'm looking to do more IndyCar races next season, and I think if there's more wet races, if you like, I would definitely be doing it for sure. And hopefully some of the road courses have more road courses have wet races as well. I mean, it would be nice to have a wet race at somewhere like Laguna Seca, but I don't think, especially into the corkscrew, I think it would be a bit of carnage. But I think from a driver's perspective, I think it will add more.
Berryman, purple lap.
More challenges.
Guys, Rashad Craig just pit. He is the first one.
Oh, he's on the red tire. He is on the alternates. Here we go. Here come your Red Bull laps. Let's see how Rashad Craig going to show that testicular fortitude right now and do full sends here in the last 17 laps. He's wide there in the festival quarters. Pedaling. Okay, back on line. Pedal. All right, come on. Get temp. Let's go.
I would imagine it's going to be miserable for the first
few
corners, like it has been.
He's like, why did I do this?
But he's going to be so much faster. And again, if it develops, everybody else is going to need to pit, and he's done. He can't stay in this alternate tire.
I don't know if he's going to get his lap back, but he might work his way up to third. He's 2 laps down, actually, so he might be locked into where he's at, but we'll see.
But he's only 25 seconds behind Musler. So there is a possibility.
Let me change the display to show gaps. As here comes Taylor Mills with the wet tires, up to temperature wet tires.
Yeah, Mills.
Shane Coker in chat says off tracks are more like guidelines, not actual rules. Yeah, it's kind of like the painted lines on the road in India. Yeah, just guidelines. You just don't have to follow them if you don't want to. I'm not making fun of India. I'm just actually saying I've been there and I saw it.
I can totally understand that. Liam Carey's also on the alternate tire, but look at Rashad. He's able to close in so much faster.
Oh, but you get offline, and it's like, the choices run out. You don't have very many options if you have to go offline. But he's going to get a run on him here. He's going to get a much better exit off this corner. And there he goes. Problem is, he's got to pass him on the wet part of the racetrack. Easy for me to say. And then he needs to get the car woe down into the festival chicane, and he pulls a pass off. Oh, big twitch. And, got to do it again.
I mean, the good thing for Rashad is that Meals
Battle
will
for
need to
third.
pit
Battle
soon.
for third. Sorry. Battle for third. Mo Stellar and Moore. Moore has caught Mo Stellar down the backstretch. Push to pass situation for these two. Mo Stellar with 148. Nathan Moore with 67 as he's on the button now, as you see right there as he lights up.
It's just tough to find passing opportunities. Meals pitting in, so that's going to be a relief for Rashad.
Yeah, and
We'll have clear racetrack in front of him.
the passing opportunities were few to begin with here. I mean, that's really, it used to be just kind of turn one, and that was it. Maybe, whoa! Liam Kerr goes, Liam Kerr goes purple.
Musler is trying to keep the car under him. They're going side by side with Nathan Moore. That's where P3 is able to hold him off. Oh, yeah, Liam Kerr purple by a lot. That's a second. Here comes Nathan Moore.
104.3.
Moore makes it happen. Move Nathan Moore up to third. Daniel Musler down to P4. You're
And
gonna have
Will
a hard
Weiser-
charging break against here.
Will Weiser there, he is in the back part of the picture there. He's up to 7th. And right behind him is our leader. Meanwhile, we're watching Kerr, who just went purple last time. Does he do it again? Nope.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah, he
103.9.
did. Oh, wow. Yeah, by a second, a 103.9. So gloves are off. It is game time here in the last 13 laps of who's going to get the Red Bull lap here at Portland. And right now, the guy sitting as fast as on the racetrack at the moment with a rapidly drying race course, very lightly wet, according to the track wetness graph there on the screen, is Liam Kerr, purple lap.
And you know it's gonna get drier and drier every single lap. There are sections of the track where you don't even see any of that rooster tail that you were talking about. There's nothing.
Just a couple of house cleaning duties here. Once again, if you're just joining us, you're watching P1's coverage of the IIS Saturday Top Split presented by 4D Racewear, coming to you from Portland, where currently Peter Berryman is your leader with 12 laps to go. Thanks for joining us. Make sure to smash the like button, subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out on the next race. The next race for us is in 2 weeks, Saturday, August 23rd at 2 p.m. Eastern Time, as the series heads to the Milwaukee Mile as we finish the IndyCar season in a proper way on ovals. Liam Kerr goes purple again, 102.9. We're watching him on your screen right now. So coverage starts on the 23rd, 2 p.m. Eastern Time. Make a note of it. Don't miss it. Today's coverage is brought to you by 4D Racewear. Check out their line of made-for-sim racing gloves, shoes, and apparel. Visit them today at 4dracewear.com or click on the link in the stream description and check them out at the Sim Gaming Expo, September 5th through 7th in Schaumburg, Illinois. Go to simgamingexpo.com to learn more or to get your tickets today. Also in December, P1 Broadcasting becomes the primetime home for Today at the 500, sponsored by Oil and Gas Safety Supply, your nightly destination for all the action leading up to the prestigious PRI Hoosier 500. The last kiss of the bricks for 2025 will start right here. So the countdown is on, less than 150 days. So pucker up and don't miss a second of the action. Like, share, and subscribe to stay locked in. And lastly, we are seeking any savvy users of Photoshop, GIMP, and Paint.net for graphics help with the channel as Rashad Craig goes purple with a 102.4. The battle is on. We need help for thumbnails, graphics, and ad hoc projects. So if you are something that fits your skill set or would like to learn more, to inquire or to learn more, go to our Discord server. The link to our Discord server is in the description, and DM me, Gary Gatso, for more info. We appreciate it. Thanks for watching. We look forward to hearing from you. That's all the housekeeping as we got 11 laps to go. We're going to finish this thing out in drying conditions.
Yeah, I mean, it's crazy how fast these guys are going. Both Rashad and Liam Kerr. As Buhalasa is speeding again. I'm not sure if he's
at this point, he might just go, I'm going to put some red tires on too.
Yeah, I mean, if you're
Yep. Yep.
That's exactly it.
Taylor Mills on reds, Richards on reds.
Yeah, I was going to say, I mean, if you're further back in the pack and you're not really fighting with anyone or or you've got nothing to lose, you may as well basically do something different. Just stick on a set of dry tires and try and go for a quick lap.
So Jesper's asking how many seconds per lap is Rashad eating on guys ahead. So Rashad is 2 laps down, so he's only racing with Mosteller, himself, and Kerr. And
Moore also. He can get on the podium at this rate. He's 9 seconds behind Nathan Moore, and last time by he was 1 second quicker, but that's because Nathan did a banger of a lap 104.95 with those wet tires. But last time by before this last one was a 102, so around 1.5 to 2 seconds for him. So he's gonna catch him. I don't know if he's gonna pass him, but he's gonna be there.
Yeah, Mosteller down 2 laps, Craig down 2 laps, Kerr down 2 laps, and Craig, as he has caught the 12 car of Ignacio. There you go, thank you. But he's in the Alex Pillow livery from Mid-Ohio. OpenAI, the evil AI generating engine out there. That if people use it, you're contributing to the bad use of AI. I want to tell people, every time you type into Google, you're contributing to AI, whether you like it or not. And at some point in time, AI is going to be weaponized to do something that you don't like. So don't blame people for using AI Okay, I'm off my stool.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to happen anyway.
It's going to happen anyways.
Yeah.
Either that, some jerk or somebody can be just as much of a jerk and do something in Photoshop. So what do we do? Take away Photoshop? So anyways.
Yeah, I mean, that's whatever.
Yeah. Oh, I just had to get that. I just had to get that off my chest for personal reasons.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think it's any. AI is a tool, and it's a great tool at that.
Oh, Rashad blinks out.
Rashad.
Whoa.
Yeah. I was like, "What? Did my internet go down?" No.
Luckily, here comes Kerr. So this might be a battle for 5th brewing between 2 cars on red tires. 8 to go, plenty of time. Just takes one offline to close that gap.
But right now, the gap from Rashad to Daniel Mosteller ahead of him is only 2 seconds. And then only 7 seconds to Nathan Moore. So this is still a battle for podium position. There's plenty of racing to go.
Jesper uses AI for evil purposes. He uses it to build his setups. That's evil. That's evil. You can't do that.
I mean...
Because you might help other people build their setups.
Look at Weiser here. He's going to catch. No.
He's in the wrong place. He's on. Yeah, he's just on the wrong tire, and you see where he is on the racetrack. He's looking for wet, and then he lets him on by. Kerr, purple, 101.7.
Yeah, Rashad went purple with a 102 flat, and then Liam Kerr was like, no.
Immediately reset the lap. Immediately. This is good stuff at the end here.
Here is Rashad. He has got Mosteller. Now, how do you make the move happen? Oh, if you go wide into the water, that's what's going to happen.
Oh, and now we got a battle for position, and that is now Kerr around Craig for 5th, and he's looking at 4th on the outside. He's going to get it down the backstretch, and that is right there. That is the exciting part of the racetrack is we got 2 guys on slick tires, 1 on an aging set of wets. 10 laps in, but on a drying racetrack, they're pretty aged now at this point.
Oh, yeah. And Rashad should be able to get the deal done on Mosteller here, but now my attention shifts a little bit to Kerr. Kerr is only 6 seconds behind Nathan Moore. Again, that's 3rd.
Moore's 1 lap, Kerr's 2 laps. Down. Unless my overlay is wrong.
They have Berryman in the middle. I mean, Kerr is going to unlap himself right now. That's the next car up front. That's Berryman.
All right. Oh, Craig goes wide. Into the grass. Okay, I didn't see the position of the leader. So you are on it. I should listen to the people that I bring into the booth.
4 seconds is the gap between Moore and Kerr. But again, Kerr first needs to unlap himself to get back to 1 down, which should happen right here. Well, not here, but
Now,
here in 12.
this would be, you know, if we would have saw more cautions, like real cautions in this race, I don't think if there were actually cautions going to be shown in this race, I don't think Berryman would be moving over as easily right now.
I don't think he's moving over. I think he's trying to cool his tires.
I think he's trying to cool his tires as well.
I mean,
Kerr,
he did move over, clearly.
101.2. So Kerr goes a purple lap again. So now Kerr 1 lap down, you're right, and just ahead of him, also in the festival curves, at the end of the festival curves, Kerr's at the beginning of the festival curves, now midway through. So you'll see them on the map together here. Yeah, they're not very far. There's plenty of time, and Moore is on the wet tires. And he has this is a difference between Moore's wet tires and the alternate tires, because the car right behind him, Taylor Mills, with alternate tires. Oh, whoa. That was close. And now here's Kerr. Here's Kerr.
Oh, Berryman's off.
Berryman, our leader, is off.
Yeah, he just ran wide in the final couple of corners.
We got cars unlapping themselves.
I think I'm just looking at the replay now to see what happened. I went back to see what Berryman was doing, and they just caught a glimpse.
Let's watch it full speed here, so we don't miss a thing here. This is a replay, and he just comes through there. The car didn't want to turn, but he at least goes out to the tarmac there, and then I don't know. I don't think you could. That's a drive-through area, so yeah.
Kerr, move him up to 3rd.
Now we need to go back and watch that, and we will watch that at full speed here, as rapidly catching Nathan Moore. And ooh, look at the aggressive move right there in 7. That's a reprofiled turn. If you look at an older version, an older track map of Portland, that used to be a more sweeping corner curve. They reprofiled it to kind of make it into another passing zone here. So move Kerr up to 3rd. A great march here for Kerr. One of the first cars to go on to slick tires. Good gamble's paying off. It's got him to the bottom step.
Yeah, 100%. That was a great call by both Kerr and Craig. Now Moore, he's gonna drop to 5th because Rashad Craig is right behind him. 1 second is the gap, going down very quickly. The track keeps drying, and this is gonna keep benefiting these guys. The only difference is we're only 3 to go, so if it were a little bit longer, I would imagine that they would be able to make even something else happen. Although the gap from Kerr to Munoz is more than a minute, so probably not.
Get my calculator out here, looking to calculate some numbers. But Kerr, yeah, he pretty much has himself locked into 3rd spot now. Jade Munoz is pretty much locked into where he is. Kerr goes purple again. And we might see a sub 1 minute lap before this race is over. Kerr at a 1 minute flat, almost 1 minute 9.
I mean, yeah, he's probably safe, although Rashad Craig is not that far. 2 seconds between them, now 3. Kerr has been very, very effective with those tires. Right now he has traffic. If he can get by Taylor Mills,
well, that's not going to be it's not going to be as easy for him and Mills unless Mills is going to lit him on by, because they're both on the red tire.
There we go. I guess, yeah, he's going to have a chance to set a super purple lap here. He has clean track in front of him. Kerr does.
And here he goes. .101. But Peter Berryman coming down the front straight. White flag in the air. 1 more lap to go for Peter Berryman. My pick. I'll just say that, my pick, and now stay on the racetrack, Peter, please. Stay on the racetrack. With a 21-second lead over Munoz. been these two all day long. It has been a wet race pretty much from the start, even through qualifying. First ever race here at Portland. First ever rain race on the broadcast here on the channel. So first ever broadcasted top split race. I believe there was rain in the forecast at Mid-Ohio, and I think that was for the Open Series, but the first ever broadcasted IIS race in the rain here. So coming down to the last set of corners for the final time for Peter Behrman will go down in history and join Al Unser Jr. as two drivers to get the first inaugural win at Portland. First was Junior in 84, and now Peter Behrman getting the win here at Portland for the first time in the IIS and iRacing in 2025.
All right, what a great race from Behrman. I mean, even with that, incident that he had and had a little bit of damage to the wing, he was all day in contention. Just great driving.
Jade Munoz gave away a win. We think he probably would agree with us. We'll see what he has to say if he chooses to speak with us for an interview. And I don't know if we'll get a chance to talk with Liam or not. I hope we do, because I really want to congratulate this guy for being the first to gamble, and a gamble that paid off with the slick tires, bringing his Dallara home in third spot on the podium. Brualasa takes the purple lap there at the end with a 1:06.
Oh, Rashad almost got it as well. 1:08. Nice job. And then Liam Kerr, he's obviously our Mr. Excitement of the race. Up 16 spots to a podium.
Well, we like Mr. Excitement. We like Mr. Excitement. And here are your final results for the IIS at Portland. Peter Behrman with the win. Jade Munoz second. The only two cars on the lead lap after a rough day of full wet raining. Liam Kerr third with the gamble. Rashad Craig also with the gamble. He comes home fourth. Nathan Moore. That's going to really, he's probably the best finisher of the top five that are in the top five in the standings for the IIS. So this is going to help him points-wise. He finishes fifth. Mo Steller sixth. Will Weiser seventh. Will Weiser had to recover from an early oops to come home in the top 10 there for Will. So doesn't repeat on the podium for a third straight race, but still gets a top 10. Kevin Brualasa gets a purple lap there at the end. Taylor Mills, 4 laps down, gets a top 10. I would say that's a good day. Ignacio comes home in 10th. Jason Green at 11th. Walker Green. So I don't know if there's any relation there, but all green for 11 and 12 there. Richards in 13th. Palibay 14th. Wallen 15th. DeRugna, who was up in the top 3 for a lot of this race, comes home 16th. Lazar 17th. Vey Piazza, Principal Dan, good to see him back in 19th. And Thomas Van Kirk in 20th. Brashear in 21st, Boyd in 22nd. I don't think Ethan Egan actually took the green flag. He had some sort of maybe technical issue to prevent him from getting into the session. Comes home 23rd there for a guy who's top 5 in series points. So hopefully it doesn't hurt him too much. Or either that, this becomes his drop week. A busy day on the channel. Been a busy day on the channel. Thanks for everybody for joining us. Appreciate it. Sticking it out. Let's get some replays queued up here. And then we'll get into the interview room. That. There we go. And we'll go back to the early part of the race when it was raining. test those graphics. All right. We'll see these early passes that Liam made to get all those early spots before we get into the interview room here. All right. And let's pop on in and see if anyone's around. There is, I don't see Liam, but if he pops in, we'll definitely bring him in because we do want to talk to him. I mean, the guy, 16 spots better from where he started. And really, if he didn't finish on the podium, he would be your Luis Gonzalez Nunez driver of the race with that many spots. I think your Luis Gonzalez Nunez driver of the race will be Ignacio with 10 spots improved. But Liam, if he does join, we will talk to him. But we will bring up Jaden right now and get him in here, and we'll bring him down in here. And here is Jaden. Jaden, boy, full wet rain, first time, rough day out there. A couple of offs. I think a drive-through penalty for maybe too many incidents. I don't know what your incident count was. We see 22. We know you're having a lot of fun over there in 10, 11, and 12. But talk about your race. Learning experience today in these IR18s in the wet?
He somehow dropped to the waiting room.
All right, so we'll bring him back in here. Boom, boom. And here is Jaden, again, back in here. A little bit of a learning experience today in the IR18 in the wet?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it was a fun race overall, but yeah, I made too many mistakes, just taking a lot of risk. But yeah, I mean, the pace wasn't too bad, but yeah, just too many mistakes, just trying to, take a lot of risk, which in the end, I guess wasn't really worth it.
We know you race other styles of cars here on the service, and those obviously been involving rain a lot longer than IndyCar has. This is a new thing for us. Tell us the difference between racing those other cars in the rain and this IndyCar in the rain. Does the extra downforce help, or does this the powerful kind of all the wheel spin these things generate? Does that make things more difficult because the car is very light?
The fact that it's light definitely helps. I think that makes a difference. But I mean, I think on iRacing, like the wet tire specifically, I think is pretty similar throughout all the wet tires on all the cars. But yeah, it's really just the lightness of the IndyCar that definitely makes the difference. And yeah, I definitely took some past experience using these tires. Like I tried not taking tires in a couple stops in this race to, gain a lot of time on the warm-up, but maybe lose a little bit of grip throughout the stint. But, on the warm-up, you would gain like 3 seconds almost, or a little bit more than 3 seconds if you didn't take tires. So, yeah, that's one thing. It's just strategy. Yeah, it's a fun part of this.
Say hello to the kitty. The other question I have, and you mentioned it, and I did want to talk to you about this, is going on that first pit stop and not going for a set of tires. What were those rain tires like when you finally did get them off? What was the wear like? And do you think it helped you or hurt you in the long run?
It's hard to say if it helped me because I think it was honestly it balanced out. Like I gained a lot of time on the warm up. I lose a little bit of grip throughout the stint. So I don't know. I think it kind of equals out, but maybe it helps with track position if you ever need to worry about that. But what was the first part of your question again? Sorry.
When you decided to go with the no tires on that first stop, what were the tires like when you took them off? Do you know what the numbers were? Can you tell us what the numbers were?
Yes, they were like from past experience. They barely wear at all. And
wow.
It was the exact same again. It only burned like 5% pretty much on the rear, I think.
Wow. After
a whole stint. So it doesn't really hurt too much.
So they were just as effective over a course of a second stint. Okay. Interesting. That's
sure.
I'm sure there's a lot of people that didn't know that. They just assumed that I'm coming to pit road, I'm going to throw in a new set because, rain tires wear. So apparently the degradation on a rain tire is not that bad. Do you have any shout outs, friends, family, sponsors, anyone you want to say hi to before we let you go?
Yeah, I want to thank Williams Sim Racing, thank my teammate Nathan for racing, Peter putting up a good fight, and yeah, well done to him for the win. And yeah, thanks to you guys for broadcasting the race.
Well, it's always good to see you in the lineup. Congratulations on the P2. Next two are in the ovals on the schedule. I know you're not an oval guy, but maybe we see you at Milwaukee. Maybe we see you at Nashville. If we don't, it's been a pleasure to see you this season. So congratulations on the P3, and we'll catch you at the next one.
Yeah, for sure. I enjoy the ovals in these cars. It's very fun, honestly. Maybe more fun than the road courses, even though I'm a little worse. I have less skill in the ovals, but yeah, for sure, I'll maybe have a look at racing. Yeah, we'll see.
Well, hope to see you, man. Have a good one. Say hi to the kitty for us.
Yep, for sure. All right, see y'all guys.
You know, he's gone up a couple notches in my book. He was already a high quality driver, and I already liked to begin with. But man, he's like, these cars are pretty fun on the oval. I'm like, hell yeah, they're fun on the oval.
They're fun on the oval.
100%. Let's get Peter Berryman in here and bring him in here. Here he is, Peter Berryman. Peter, I did give you the jinx today. I did pick you, as I always do when I see you in the lineup. And it looked like that for a moment there, I might have jinxed you when you drove around a lot of that first stint with damage on the wing. However, I think conditions helped you because Jaden was not able to pull away, really. And just because of the conditions, everyone was kind of at a different pace, and you were able to keep pace with him. And when that pit stop came along, it didn't really turn out to be so bad, other than he decided not to change tires and you did, and eventually a mistake was made. You reeled him back in past him and kind of walked away with this thing. So thankfully I did not jinx you. Congratulations with another win here on the channel. First win ever at Portland. Congratulations. Talk about the race. Talk about what it was like in the rain.
Yeah, thank you very much. I think you sort of nailed it on the head. Managing the race in the first stint, I was, let's not say comfortable, but I was sort of happy with the gap to Jaden. But yeah, massive neck code when lapping a car broke the front wing, and I didn't really want to fight Jaden too hard because it didn't really seem like the right thing to do. But like you say, the conditions and the fact that we were sort of going through this phase of lapping the traffic really sort of diminished the massive damage that I had, and I really didn't lose much time. Like you say, I think Jaden tried not taking tires. I was quite confused because I spent the whole race saving fuel to try and extend the stints to avoid that tire warm-up stage, which the wets are much harder to warm up than the slicks. But yeah, like you say, Jaden went off and I sort of got the lead back. I kind of felt like that was justice for the net code, and we sort of got put back into the positions that we should have been. And from there, really, there wasn't really too much else that happened. I think Jaden got a penalty with incident points.
Yeah,
I had a little bit of a lawnmower incident towards the end there, just pushing a bit too hard.
Hey, it's the weekend. That's when you do your lawn work. You got to do lawn work on the weekend, right?
Yeah,
during
exactly.
the summer.
yeah,
only
really
6 incidences for you. I mean, I think Nathan Moore, in typical Nathan Moore fashion, only had 3, and that was the least out of everyone, other than Jason Green also completed the race. He had 3, but he was not quite on the same lap pace as everybody else. But only 6 incidences the entire race. I mean, the number of opportunities where something could have gone wrong didn't says a lot about your ability in these cars. My other question for you is, last pit stop, you just kind of knew it was a coin flip on whether to stay on wets or if you were going to go to slicks. Was it a choice, or was it a no-brainer choice, or did you just say, I'm just going to stick with slicks and rough it out? And kind of, if it dries too much, you kind of make yourself in a scenario like Jill DeFerrin put him in that real close race with Blundell, maybe getting run down at the end and in there with someone on slicks with a rapidly drying race course. What was that decision on the last pit stop like? Just stick with the slicks, or was it a 50-50 thing?
It was definitely a lot less stressful because of the work that I put in with the strategy that I ran throughout the race, extending the stints. That allowed me to sort of, with the gap I had, I could keep an eye on what Jaden was doing.
Yeah.
Because we'd sort of lapped the other cars, I could sort of just mirror whatever Jaden did. If he went to slicks, I would go to slicks. I knew the crossover point was close, but I didn't want to risk going on to slicks and throwing the car off into the wall. So, yeah, it was definitely on the edge of the crossover point between slicks and wets when I pitted, but mainly safety, just making sure that I didn't throw the car off by accident and throw away the win essentially. So covering off Jaden, matching whatever he did in that pit stop.
I know a lot of people in turns 10, 11, 12, where they were kind of using that access road, a little extra tarmac to slide into. The number of times that that crossed your path about that kind of saved me from doing it off there, because I know a lot of people were going wide in that area.
Yeah, I think that was definitely the trickiest part. That chicane before the final corner was easily the toughest on the car, with the conditions. Like most of the corners were somewhat straightforward in terms of the lines we had to take, but through that last chicane on the direction change, the car is kind of in the puddle and it's not in the puddle, and it's very, very easy to have this massive snap of oversteers. So yeah, quite a sketchy chicane throughout the whole race.
Well, congratulations on the win. And like I said, it's good, and it's always good to see in the lineup. Great to have you get the win, dominating win, 88 laps led, did everything. Didn't get it. You had the early fast laps, but all those guys that came out there late on the reds were up in your times and everything. So no purple lap for Peter today, but I suspect the next road course race we get to, you'll rectify that rather quickly. So congratulations on the win. Any shout outs, friends, family, sponsors, anyone you want to say hi to before we let you go?
I'll just say thanks very much to you guys for putting on the broadcast. It's obviously nice for the likes of myself. I really love the IndyCar, but there's not so many races that actually happen. So it's nice to come here and have guys like Jaden really can really push each other and have a bit of fun. But yeah, thanks very much for you guys for broadcasting the race. Hopefully, I'll maybe see you guys at Phillip Island here. We'll see what my schedule looks like, but I might come and say hello for the Phillip Island race.
All right, Monday. Look for him.
Season.
Look for Peter Monday, possibly, but no ovals for Peter. He's done with those for the season, even though he won the Indy 500. So congratulations, Peter. Good to have you here as always, and we'll catch you whenever that next race is. We'll catch you when we see you there.
Yes, thanks very much. Have a good time, guys.
Yeah. And let's bring down Justin Petschauer. There he is, Justin. Justin, it was a wet race the whole way through for us. Talk about your race, how well you did. This is Justin Petschauer, the ambassador for the IIS here in the community. How'd you do?
I'm just going to say this. That was perfect timing because I literally just got back from using one of the portable johns over here at the track. But, oh, yeah, it does get cold. It does get cold, even when you got a fan blowing behind you. It put me in 17th because I didn't qualify. I was going to start from the grid, but I decided to start from pit road because I had a feeling there was probably going to be calamity.
And was there?
As is tradition going into the festival terms. Ladies and gentlemen, breaking news from Split 2. There was none.
Oh, wow. Yeah, everybody in Split 1 made it through, too. There was a little contact, and I think someone might have lost a wing, but iRacing forgave him and gave it back, so kind of no harm, no foul. But top two splits got it through the festival chicane without a crash. Very good. That just says the quality of the drivers that signed up for today's race.
Yeah, indeed. It was about 6 laps. I tell you not, I kid you not. Correction, 6 laps before it was declared a dry weather race. I started seeing both left side tires and the wets go up in temperature, and it's like, okay, we're pitting. It's a dry race now.
Yeah.
Went in, got on, put on the alternate tires. It was a little sketchy at first, not as sketchy as Marco Andretti 2019 at Belle Isle, but it was sketchy. Right call, because it got us to finishing 8th out of starting 17th. So all in all, only 5 off tracks, so to say. But that's Portland for you. Even in overcast conditions, it can screw with your eyesight to where it's just like, oh crap, I missed my corner.
Yeah.
But hey, and thank God we got our rain race compared to Friday and Wednesday night. From what I heard, it was a dry race for those guys. But last road race of the year is done. 2 more races to go. Milwaukee and Nashville. Nashville, I don't know. With this package that we got, it's probably going to be the safe bet to stay in the back and just watch calamity.
You think Nashville is going to be like our top split broadcast a week ago?
Yeah.
Even in an open
Yeah.
setup?
Yep.
Okay. Fair enough.
It's basically welcome to a shrunken down version of Atlanta, Daytona, Talladega, all into one, except it's a concrete track with low banking. Milwaukee, though, I got a good feeling about that one. Hopefully, knock on wood, I don't oversleep my alarm like I did last year.
Uh-oh. Okay.
Yeah, you remember that one? I overslept my alarm and somehow made it into top split and finished 12th. And it was a long race if you remember that one. We went green after like lap 20 something, 30 something.
Yeah, that's a 250 lap race. So yeah, that was a long
Yeah.
one. Okay. Well,
But yeah, other than that,
top 10 for you here today at Portland.
Yep, finished 8th, 3 laps down, but that's just the nature of the beast. Welcome to Racing in the Rain. Hope you guys enjoyed the show. Hopefully we get some more rain races next year. Fingers crossed. Other than that, I'm gonna go chug this bottle of electrolyte that I got, and I need to go run some errands, and I am absolutely gonna go grab me some food after that one.
Yeah.
But that was a hell of a race. I'm gonna have to go back and watch Top Split as well. That's for damn sure.
All right, well, good to have you. And also, don't forget, while we were doing this race, IndyCar qualifying for real was going on. So no spoilers, please, people. We'll still have to watch that. But Antonio, your final thoughts here, and then after that, no more road courses for the year. After we're done with those, we're back to ovals. Like I said, we're back to where IndyCar should finish the season on 2 ovals.
Yeah, agreed. It just feels natural. So
yes.
Yeah, happy to go to the ovals, but man, what a race we had today. I mean, first of all, our first race here at Portland, such a beautiful racetrack, and again, like we were talking during the broadcast, really a synonym with IndyCar racing. So having it here on iRacing is like, yeah, it feels right to have it here. And then we had the rain on top of it, and it was amazing to see all the different track conditions going from moderately wet to very wet, and then back to lightly wet, and at the end to having it almost full dry. It was a blast to see everything that happened, and also, clean race for the most part. We did have a ton of attrition, but these are very tough conditions, and it's not a short race. So all in all, I thought we saw a great battle here for, also for the win. During a lot of time, both Berryman and Munoz were close together for the entire race until the last time where Munoz had to do that drive-through penalty. But other than that, man, I think it was a banger. And yeah, looking forward to Milwaukee next week. Oh, what, 2 weeks from now?
Yes. But that's how excited you are.
Yeah, there you go. Let's check it up to that.
Ryan, rain race. I mean, this is kind of your weather from your neck of the woods, but it was remarkably a pretty clean race. I mean, you expect people to make mistakes. Mistakes were made, but a lot of people were able to persevere and make it through this thing.
Yeah, absolutely. And this kind of weather I'm used to, because we get quite a lot of it in Scotland, where there's never any sunshine. But yeah, for our first race with the wet weather and the rain as well in the IndyCar, the iRacing IndyCar Series, it was a great race. Some close moments with the back markers with the leaders, but apart from that, it was a great first race, and I can't wait for next season with some of the road courses having wet races. So looking forward to it, and looking forward to my favorite oval track apart from Indianapolis in 2 weeks' time. That's what's Milwaukee.
Yeah, and we don't quite know what aero package we might see in Milwaukee. We have some people testing. See Jesper in chat there saying that the aero package, if you go with the full downforce, is kind of crazy there. So we'll see what the aero package is going to be for the next couple of races. But wow, finally got to see a rain race. Put the graphics card to the ultimate test here, and other than trading paints messing up, the old 4080 Super delivered. So again, shout out to Techtopia Systems for doing that. But I think that's going to do it. We'll give everyone back their Saturday here, so we can go watch IndyCar quals and regain what's left of our weekend. So that is it for today. Once again, your podium here from Portland for the first ever Portland Grand Prix. And I never talked about the old days when they called this the G.I. Joe Portland 200. You know, it had nothing to do with the G.I. Joe action figure, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. There was a sporting goods store here in Portland that was called G.I. Joe's. But as a kid, when I watched this back in 1984, 85, and I was a big collector of G.I. Joes, I was like, sweet, this is G.I. Joe IndyCar 200. Like two favorite things merged together. No, it was... But still, it was cool. I wish Hasbro was that smart, but no. Anyways. But that's it for today. Once again, your podium here from Portland is Peter Berryman getting in the lineup, getting a normal win and a podium finish. That's what he does here. He shows up and gets on the podium. He comes home as the winner. Yaden Munoz comes home in second, and Liam Kerr with the call of the race. Fortunately, was unable to join us in the booth, but we'll give him his flowers. He made the call, and that brought his car to third with the slick tires late. Nice call. Join us again in 2 weeks on Saturday, August 23rd at 2 p.m. Eastern time for round 15. Gosh, only 2 more races to go. Can you believe it? Thanks, football. If it wasn't for football, we'd still be racing in the September, but you know how it is. August 15th for the 2025 campaign as the teams and drivers head to the Milwaukee Mile. Coverage starts at 2 p.m. Eastern time. That's 2:00 p.m. Eastern, as always, for the correct broadcast time in your area. Find everything right here at YouTube, at youtube.com/P1 Broadcasting. Hey, we love bringing these races to you. They're not easy. They require time and money to produce. If you share our passion for the sport of IndyCar and have enjoyed our coverage of the IndyCar iRacing Series, please take time to visit our GoFundMe page. The link is in the description, and donate to our 2025 broadcast fund. We do this for free on behalf of the community. We realize times are tough, so any contribution would be greatly appreciated. We thank you for watching. Make us part of your Tuesday, or actually Saturday viewing on NTT IndyCar Race Weeks, whenever that happens. Thank you very much. Now, as you know, the YouTube algorithm game is not easy, so please help support P1 with the weekly grind. Leave a comment below. Let us know your thought of today's race. And enjoy today's coverage. Support us by smashing like in the video. If you're new, click subscribe. And while you're at it, hit the bell for weekly reminders so don't miss out on more of P1's other iRacing programming, including tomorrow night. I know Shane O's watching right now. Shane Coker. The Vote of Indy Oval Series continued its season with a stop at the Turkey Triangle in Pocono. 3 races at Pocono in 7 days for us. Last season, the Vote of Series started their season with 7 different winners in the first 7 races. The trend's repeating so far this year with 3 different winners in 3 races. Do we go 4 for 4? Well, tune in and find out. Action starts at 8 p.m. Eastern time on Sunday night. Don't miss it. P1's iRacing IndyCar Series Saturday Top Split coverage is presented to you by 4D Racewear. Check out their line of made-for-sim racing gloves, shoes, and apparel. Visit them today at 4dracewear.com or click on their link in the description. And the reason I said Sim Racer and Sim Gaming is, it's kind of going together. They're Sim Gaming Expo. You'll go find the guys at 4D there September 5th through 7th in Schaumburg, Illinois. You show up on the 4th, if you just hang around to the 5th, you eventually will see them there. But go to simgamingexpo.com to get your tickets or to learn more about the event, and you can meet all of us and the good folks at 4D Racewear there on site. Track cams for this race are provided by Whiplash Sim Cams. Get the most out of your iRacing experience with the Whiplash Sim Cams. It's the first time we've used their camera pack ever here at Portland. Did a pretty good job. I want to thank Whiplash. And if you want to make sure you like them on Facebook, you can follow them on X and Instagram, and links are in the description. For business inquiries to learn more about P1, what we do, just check it out on a Linktree. All of our socials are there. X, Insta, Facebook, you name it. All of them are in the description. So for El Patron, Antonio Estrada, Ryan Skywalker, and everyone here at P1, I am Gary Gotzo saying all. Thanks for watching. And to all of our men and women serving in the military and as first responders, Godspeed. God bless and come home safe. Make sure to catch the real stars and cars of the NTT IndyCar Series this Sunday, 3 p.m. Eastern time for the Pinnacle Grand Prix of Portland. You can follow all the action on your local Fox affiliate. You can follow it on the Fox app. You can follow it on the IndyCar Live app if you're outside of America, or just join Mark Janes and the gang on IndyCar Radio on SiriusXM Channel 215. Be sure to check your local listings for the correct broadcast times and station in your area. You can catch us again in 2 weeks, Saturday, August 23rd, 2 p.m. Eastern time at Milwaukee for the next race of the IndyCar iRacing Series Top Split right here on P1. Thanks, everybody. You have a good one.